Grace and peace, everybody. We are back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. It's Monday, so you know what we're about to do. Or do you? All right, so as usual, we usually do our watch party, slicing and dicing and having a lot of fun mocking Candace's live stream. Well, because of the little, let's just call it the little powwow between Erica and Candace in a nondescript location, that's not happening today. So I'm ready just in case something changes or goes left. However, we do also have a lot of content to go over and talk about. So shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Thank you, everybody who's already tapped in and jumped in. I appreciate you all for doing so. Make sure you go ahead and tell me what like number you are, if you don't mind. Go ahead and hit the like button and go ahead and drop your like number in the chat for sure. But so just so you know, the lay of the land, if you will, this weekend was bonkers. There was all kinds of content coming out left, right, and center. And something that kind of slipped past us, if you will, not past us, I didn't talk about, was the young lady and her husband who used to work for Blexit. And he used to volunteer for Blexit. And I want to bring them on and, I'm sorry, let me bring that. I want to look at their video and discuss it. I did reach out to them, though, and I did ask if they would like to. Maybe it was just too short of a time frame, but maybe we'll have them on another time. I would love to have a conversation with Kali and her husband because they seem like really genuine people. So hopefully, Lord willing, we'll be able to make that happen sometime in the near future. I may have some other guests for you later on tonight, so just stay tuned, that you'll definitely enjoy. So not me putting on a different hat or anything of that nature. It'll be some good guests for sure. I do have Candace's stream, our channel, looking at her channel just in case, but I don't think she's going live today. And so, because whatever's going on over there with the secret meeting, the secret squirrel is what it is. It is what it is. Man, there's a lot of good folk already jumped up in to the most electrifying live chat on the planet. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. Everybody's jumping in. Callie, did Callie say she'd accept your invitation anytime, any place? If not, she gets a pass. She did not say any place, anytime. I shot her an email. I shot her a DM. She asked me to shoot her an email. I just haven't heard back from her. She actually, listening to her story, her and her husband's story, they probably sound a little bit more busy than me. So, shout out to them for sure. And like I said, they're welcome. The invitation will always be open whenever. So thank you all so much. Why did Candace delete her social media post from Charlie? Uh-oh. With Charlie in May 2024. See, a lot of people, that's what I said. Last night on the stream, we had, goodness gracious. If you did not watch last night's live stream was amazing. I couldn't have planned a better live stream. I really couldn't. I like to try to plan stuff. I couldn't have planned a better live stream. We had so many guests come through. It was crazy. But one of the things we talked about was this weekend was weird, man. There's just some weird stuff happened this weekend. Really, I think from Thursday all the way to last night. And one of those things that came out is just, it's becoming more and more clear, more and more evident. Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk were not friends like she purports, not even a hint. And so I think, to answer your question, oh man, a question, I didn't even save it. Anyway, to answer your question about why she deleted it, I think it's because she knew that they weren't friends. But once Charlie Kirk passed away, the narrative shifted. And she was able to move that around, and other people weren't going to say anything. Nobody else knew about it really like that they really weren't friends, and she could purport like they were the best of friends on the planet. So that's what I really think has happened. And it's becoming more and more clear that they really weren't friends like that. They might have been at one time, but it is becoming very obvious they were not anymore. But thank you to everybody who's jumped in. So as I said before, I think it was on Sunday and Saturday, Kali Fontanea, I don't want to butcher her name, so please forgive me. Do not hold it against me. But she and her husband got on because they both used to volunteer for Blexit, which is the, for lack of a better term, it was the arm reaching out to Blacks and Latino Latinos and letting them know that they could leave the Democrat Party and join the Republican Party. Real quick summary. And Candace was affiliated with it. She didn't start it, but she was affiliated with it. One of the things was that later on, Candace became like really the spearhead of it. And for 2 or 3 years, she was really running the ship. And then from there, Blexic was transitioned over, was brought in under the umbrella of TPUSA, and that's where it is up to now, and is now called Rise. Well, anyway, Collie and her husband talk about the stories of what happened and such of that nature, and they bring real, legitimate receipts, which I think is I highly, highly appreciate, because it's not just this trust me bro stuff, or here's a person that also has an axe to grind. This is some verifiable, objective reality that you can compare, look at, and see where it is. So thank y'all, everybody. I'm gonna pull this in and let's get popping, because we got a long night, or a regularly scheduled night. President Firstborn is coming back from college today, so everybody here at Whitaker Park is all excited, because our the band will be all back together again by 10 o'clock tonight, give or take. Shout out to everybody who's up in this best live chat. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, let's go.
So it's been a long time since I've done a longer form video on YouTube. In fact, it's been about 5 months. I've gone through a lot. And even then, I wasn't doing them regularly 5 months ago. I'm also demonetized on YouTube. I've been demonetized for over a year. So it's not a lot of...
I want to say right now, that's a sin and a shame. This young lady puts out some really good content. And for her to be demonetized on the platform while other yahoos are able to still rock and get over here, that is a shame. YouTube, that is not a good look for the platform. Not if we're just trying to create environments that allow for free expression and conversation. I don't understand that. That's something I want to ask her about, why is she demonetized? Because that's janky, but continue.
Incentive to create on here, except to connect with YouTube people who tend to be critical thinkers. I really like this platform for that. But I'm also a busy woman. This is my husband, Joshua. We run an online school. We also both work as writers. And being on social media and posting on social media is not our job. It's not how we pay our bills. So
yeah.
I am not excited to make this video today. I'm not excited even a little bit. And in fact, I'm quite nervous to make it. But I have not been able to be at peace about this. And whenever God wants me to speak up about something, he does not give me peace.
Yeah.
So
yeah, being pushed.
I think everyone is talking about Candace Owens right now. I think she's probably the most talked about person on social media at this current time.
I do like the fact that she said the most talked about person on social media, because that is a difference. A lot of people who are not terminally on social media or don't actually work on social media are not really that dialed in. And not everybody, even on social media, are really dialed in on what's going on. So sometimes when people get this hand wringing, like, oh, those skies falling, Candace is going to tear everything apart. She really isn't. She really isn't. She's not omnipresent, people. She's not all powerful and everywhere. She just isn't. But let us continue.
And there is a lot of people speaking against her. There's a lot of people that are super, they love what she's doing right now. And they're on her side. They're Team Candace. And I just want to share what I know and where I'm at on all of this. And before I start all of that, I want to make it 100% clear that I'm not being paid by Israel. Some of you guys need to go check my husband's X account. They would never choose me.
Not the biggest
I am not
fan.
being paid by anyone. In fact, I have spoke against right-leaning paid commentators. It's very common on our side for them to be paid behind the scenes without disclosing. And I am a commandment-keeping Christian. And I believe that it's a lie to not disclose to your audience when you are doing paid talking points. And sadly, most people on the right are doing this. I did not know this when I first started speaking up. And if you don't know who I am, I'm a former public school teacher of 15 years. My name is Collie Fontanilla, and I was teaching in California when I saw a lot of left-leaning craziness being forced on our nation's children. And I decided to start speaking up very anonymously online about it. And this was in 2020, and trying to protect my job at the same time and exposing critical race theory, exposing the, gender, the multiple gender agenda, the trans agenda, all of that. It's been exhausting. It has not been easy to do what we do, or what I do, and what my husband has helped me to do. And he also does speak up, my husband, but he gets banned and frustrated. Hang on. I've been banned a lot. I was banned 20 times on TikTok. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating what we do. It's not fun. And I have not experienced any of the fun part, the exciting side of it. It's been hard for me. I am wildly introverted. I don't really like putting myself out there, and I'd rather just live in my husband's pocket and observe the world from the outside looking in, but God put it on my heart to speak up, and that's what I decided to do. So again,
we don't get a lot of the money part either.
No, we don't.
I mean, you just barely got monetized on, after years on Facebook for a little
that's
bit.
The one. That's
like
the
last,
one.
Like 2
yeah.
months. Yeah.
But it won't last. It won't last. Yeah. I've been violated.
Have you ever been monetized on YouTube?
YouTube, I was monetized for about maybe 6 months, and the biggest check I got from YouTube was $600 for that month. This is with 11 million views. So I'm not in this for the money.
Yeah,
I am
like
not
a quarter
being paid
million
behind
following.
the scenes.
Yeah.
You can still believe that if you want.
Yeah.
But it's now to the point where anyone who dares to speak against what Candace Owens is doing right now on her platform, you will be accused of that. Yeah. So I just want to make it 100% clear that that's not something that I would do. Like I said, I'm a commandment keeping, Bible believing Christian with a genuine faith in God. I would not be here if it wasn't for Jesus, and I would not lie about that, but you can believe what you want.
Yeah, believe what you want.
So the title of this video is Candace Owens, a Liar. And before we get started, before I go deeper into that, I just want to share with you guys my history with her. First of all, I had a lot of respect for her when I first saw her come onto the scene, because I left the left during Obama and before Candace Owens, but I wasn't speaking up about it. I was a public school teacher, and I was enjoying my job as a public school teacher. It was what I was born to do. And I had beliefs that were being, I woke up, I left the left during Obama, and that's a long story. I'm not going to share it right now, but I didn't vote for him second term. And then Trump came onto the scene, and my husband was a big Trump fan at the time. And I was like, I don't know about him. I just really hate Hillary, so I'm going to vote for Trump. And then Trump's first term was super exciting as president. Oh, yeah. I wish we could rewind to Trump 2016 again. There's so many things I would do in my life that I wish I had started sooner during that time, because it was a beautiful time. The economy was great. People loved
to go to the
Trump.
White House.
Yeah, people loved Trump. He was doing a great job as president. And there was also a time where you could still speak up and you weren't being censored. And then in 2020, everything changed. We really got censored. So Candace Owens' voice began to rise during that time. And I didn't really hear about her until she started the movement Blexit. I didn't really know who she was because I wasn't a big social media person. I didn't really consume a lot of social media. But when I found out about Blexit, I thought that was super amazing what she was doing with Kanye West, and was basically, and then the branding was amazing. And I remember the shirts they came out.
The aesthetics were awesome.
I bought a Blexit shirt. I was like, this is great. Black and Latino exit from the Democrat Party. And I was like, that's me. I'm part of that. And I'm so glad she's starting this movement. And I got so into it. My husband and I got so into it that we volunteered for it. And my husband became the chapter leader of Blexit, or not founder, but
basically, well, I was the first state director of the California chapter.
And it became the fastest growing chapter, and we were super excited to do it. And of course, we were doing it all without compensation. Eventually, to the point where, and I'm going to share slides now. How do I add this? Oh, you have to share it.
Oh no, we just need to change the screen here.
Okay, there we go. To the point where I wrote a guide against critical race theory for Blexit. We did cool events with the California chapter. It was such an exciting time. And we also went to DC for a leadership retreat. And at that time, I got to meet Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. And it
There's
was
pictures of that.
that year
Yeah.
was really a fun year. It was 2020, it was 2020 and 2021. And everyone else, all the left, was sitting inside with their masks on and getting weird shots while we were weird vaccines while we were enjoying ourselves and
Yeah.
fighting for the freedom
You're
of this country.
I think one of the first national articles about you on the Epoch Times, they used the picture of you in between Candace and Brandon
Yes.
from
And
yeah, yeah from
and
that.
I was so, since I was newly learning about the right and people, these new commentators that are coming out, because during Trump, a lot of voices, especially before 2020 and all the censorship, all these incredible voices came out. You know, all the people that are super big right now, the ones that are doing this full time for a living and make a lot of money, they all came out during Trump's
Well, there was
first
that
term.
little window where they still allowed the right to grow quickly, to go viral, and
Yes.
she got in before the censorship, and then once you got in, and then they cracked down, it was like no one else could really get
Yeah,
as big as the first people. She was one of them.
exactly.
Yeah.
And writing the guide against critical race theory, I actually did get paid to write that. I did not do that voluntarily. It was it's 20 pages,
Yeah.
and it's free to download. I don't know if they still have it on the website because now TPUSA runs Blexit. I'm not sure. I haven't checked recently, but that was a labor of love for our nation's children, for our nation's parents, to warn against what's going on. And I was really grateful to have to have Blexit give me that platform to share all about why critical race theory is terrible and doesn't belong in our schools.
And then
And
on the California Blexit chapter, I was the state director, but Kali was I forget the exact term they used, but it was like
some advisor
it
type.
was like an advisor, and it was generally a term that was given to somebody who was well known. And so her platform had grown by this point. So Kali was
And it
being
wasn't
like
super
advisor.
big. My platform
It was
was not that.
voluntary.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
this is after all the censorship too. It's been pretty hard to stay alive on social media. Anyways, so there's a picture of one of the Blexit events for the California chapter where they were delivering meals to the police, and this is in San Diego. Here's another event we had with some of the Blexit members. There I am in the middle, and it was such a blast. It was really fun, and that year was probably one of the funnest years of my life,
So, and just
and
to
exciting.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of emphasize that a little bit, when I became the state director for the Blexit California chapter, it was before they really cracked down on Facebook, and we were using Facebook groups. I don't know if people remember that time when Facebook groups, before they killed like all the big pro-Trump groups and all the conservative groups, our Blexit California chapter Facebook group was popping. Like we were meeting so many new people. It was so alive. And our chapter was growing insanely quick because largely of those groups. And then, they just overnight, they just killed it all. You couldn't, and they took all the, oh man, I remember this picture. The one on the right there was our first event, right? That was the first one of
Yeah,
the California chapter, and it was so fun meeting
it
these
was.
other conservatives. We drove down south like 6 hours to go to this little group, and people drove from all over the state, and it was great. It was fantastic. And
So we were part of Blexit, and Joshua, my husband, actually became not just a state director, but he
regional
became
director
a
for the
regional
western
director.
states. Yeah.
And you were also required to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. Everyone that works for Candace as an employee is required to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So they are not allowed to talk about their time working with her.
So that is very interesting because I thought about it. I was like, what would stop somebody from paying one of her producers or current staff people, an exorbitant amount of money to give all the deets and such like that. Did they sign? They probably signed an NDA, and that's gonna probably be bad. But Candace, these people sign these 35-year NDAs that expire. So who knows? Maybe in a couple of years it'll expire out. Whatever. Grace and peace. Let's keep it going.
I didn't sign that because I wasn't a formal employee of hers. So we were deep into Blexit. Joshua, there was a funky exit, and we can't go into that because of Joshua's NDA. And it's not really the intention of this video anyways. The intention of this video is to show you guys what Candace has done and demanded of TPUSA and even Kimberly Klasick. I don't know if you guys remember her, but remember when, or at least remember when Candace exposed her and shared her finances, her campaign finances, and a misuse. What she's also done to expose Black Lives Matter, which of course Black Lives Matter is trash.
Yeah.
So
Not
good job,
defending
Candace.
them.
Yeah, good job, Candace.
Yeah.
But is that what she does too? And this knowledge this stuff that I'm going to show you right now, because I work 2 regular jobs. My husband and I, we run an online school, but I also work as a researcher. And I write articles about nonprofits, and I know how to research nonprofits. A lot of people don't do that. When they go to donate to a nonprofit, they just think, oh, it's doing good work. Here's money. And of course, Candace is very upset at Turning Point USA right now, and is upset that they're profiting off of Charlie Kirk's death. She's mentioned that many times. They've made over $100 million since this year, and she has demanded transparency from them. She has demanded them to share everything that all the questions that she wants to be answered. She wants them to answer. But again, she requires all of her employees to sign non-disclosure agreements. And I'm sure TPUSA has that as well. There's an active investigation happening right now into Charlie Kirk's assassination. There's a lot of reasons why these people can't talk. And also they're not obligated to talk to her. They don't have to, right? But she demands that. And she's saying, the reason why they aren't answering her is because there's something going on. There's something nefarious. Charlie was betrayed. She claims that Charlie showed up to her in a dream and said that he was betrayed. So there's a lot going on there. And if you have been following this, she's done over, I don't know, it's been like 30 videos or something. There's been a lot of videos every week about this. And her platform has grown since then. All of her videos are monetized. Obviously, she's making money off of this, but she has not shared how much. But she wants to know how much TPUSA is sharing. Yeah. Well, I'm going to show you guys that Blexit, Candace Owens' organization that she was president of, also may have some funding issues. And this is very easy to look up. You can go to propublica.org and you can look up any nonprofit in this country. And I highly recommend people doing this because you learn a lot from these, from what they have to disclose to the public. And Blexit, I don't know if you guys know this, but Candace Owens' organization, her nonprofit, was taken over by TPUSA, or she handed Blexit over to TPUSA in 2023.
I think
before
it was
that,
sold.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know
I
the
think
details
so.
on that. I don't want to, no matter what, TPUSA took it over because it was in trouble. Blexit was $1 million, $1.7 million in the hole. And Blexit, you can go to ProPublica and you can look this stuff up. This is 2023, the last year that was underneath Candace Owens as president, and it had $275K in revenue. The expenses were $1.3 million. So she was operating it at a loss. This is in 2021. This is 2 years before. It was $3.3 million in expenses, and she also was operating it that year at a loss. 2022, again, another $1 million at a loss. 3 years in a row, $1 million, and even higher than that in 2022. I'll show you guys that from the tax form, at a loss. Where's this money going? Why are you running a nonprofit and running it into the ground, claiming to do work for African Americans, but where is this money truly going? And 3 years in a row, you're operating it, and you're going in the millions, losing money in this nonprofit. And she was raising money as well. And again, I don't have a team behind me. This is just me and my own research and what I know on how to research nonprofits. So here's 2022. They operated at a loss of 1.7 million that year. They were just spending money left and right in 2022. And what were they spending it on? Well, first there was Candace Owens' salary, which was $250,000 that year in 2022. And you can also look where she stated that her average hours per week that she worked for Blexit was 30 hours. Great. Awesome. That is so amazing, Candace, that you were giving 30 hours a week to Blexit. But there's a problem here. This is also the same year that she started, or that she was doing her Daily Wire show. And this brings questions for me as someone who worked for Blexit and was in Blexit, same with my husband. I don't see where she was giving that 30 hours a week to Blexit and getting that $250,000 payment. Where her time was doing, where she was doing that time, because she wasn't showing up at any of the events that we were having, except if it was a speaking Blexit rally, which would happen maybe 3 or 4 times a year, if that.
Yeah. And all those events are public. You can see which one she was at.
Her Daily Wire show, when she first came out with it, it was a very extensively produced show where it was, she had interviews and she had, guests, and she had, I don't know if you guys watched her Daily Wire show when it first came out, but it was like this really extensive show. It wasn't just her talking in a microphone and doing a podcast. She was also having kids at the same time. And then on her tax form saying that she's giving Blexit 30 hours a week of average work.
For $250,000 a year.
For $250,000 a year. Now, some of you may go to me, oh, yeah, okay, I believe that. I believe she was doing 30 hours a week for Blexit. Well, I'd like to hear that from her. I want to know, because she's accusing TPUSA of taking in money and enriching themselves with donor funds, the employees of that, and actually not doing the work of TPUSA's mission. And she's accused Kimberly Klasick of doing that with, having fun with donor funds and doing, whatever she wants with her campaign funds, right? So Candace, were you actually giving 30 hours of your time every week to Blexit in 2022? I just have that question. Am I allowed to ask that question? I hope I am, because I don't believe you were doing that. I believe that you weren't giving 30 hours a week to Blexit, just because I worked with Blexit and I know what these events were like, and I know what was being accomplished. At least, especially you can't share a lot about it, but you were a regional director.
You don't even need to, it's just the public stuff. You can see from public events which one she was at and which one she wasn't. You don't even need special info from me.
So did she lie about doing her 30 hours a week? That's
just asking questions, right?
Just asking questions, right? Okay. I want to go back to this right here. So also, it's interesting to note that Brandon Tatum, he would show up at events more than Candace, and he only put average hours of 5 hours per week and was only compensated $36,000. So something to think about. So here's where a lot of the money was going to. You can see here that it was going to Optimize Consulting, which is $500,000 to this social media fundraising company. It went $349,000 of it went to security. So again, this is 2022, the year she's doing her Daily Wire show. $349,000 went to security. She also went to Olympic Media, $284,000. It's another social media fundraising group. As someone who follows Blexit and who has been part of Blexit for a long time, I'm not sure how it almost takes $1 million to do social media fundraising, but especially if you look at their social media and how they were, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, go look up Blexit's social media in 2022 and ask me where that money was going.
And I
There's
mean, you could
also
also
Rio
look at,
Slum,
Wow.
which is a web services organization. That is not a real address for them. That 117 Church Street, apartment A. You can look that up. There's no Rio Slum
Church
at
Street.
that spot. If you look up Rio Slum, it is a group, and this is exactly what she did to Kimberly Klasick, because Kimberly Klasick was giving money to these optimized consulting. They opened in 2018. It's a very new company. She was doing the same thing with Kimberly Klasick. She was like, hey, what's this weird new company that you're giving all this money to for your campaign? This is exactly what she was doing with Kimberly Klasick. So again,
just asking questions.
what does this have to do with the mission of Blexit, which was to help African Americans leave the Democrat Party and to enlighten them on the truth and help them with their education and help them to, the mission of Blexit was not social media fundraising. And also, again, where was the social media fundraising going? I'm just asking questions because I don't see on the as far as what I know of Blexit, I don't see that $700 and almost that $800,000 being used for social media fundraising, especially with such a small overall budget. So, I'm just asking questions. Did Candace, where you demand transparency from TPUSA, you demanded transparency from Kimberly Klasick. Where's the transparency from you? And also, this was a year where she ran, again, here's that same year, $389,000 on travel. I do know that Candace Owens was using private jets to go to the Blexit rallies. So how much of that money was going towards Candace's private jets?
Private jets is crazy. If you're flying, wow, that is some crazy work right there. Now, to be fair, if you live in an area where there is a private airport, you can charter a plane almost at the price that you go, fly Delta or American. I do know that. They're not that super expensive, but you have to be going to a specific place. If you're going from Atlanta to Miami and they have room in the day, you can probably get a flight pretty quickly and it's not as expensive as you might think. But if you're going somewhere off the grid or like special whatever, that is expensive as all get out. And I don't think that she was just flying in almost like a commuter plane. That's crazy work.
Again, was this a way for her to pay for her security through her nonprofit instead of, paying for it herself? That's a very high security bill, $349,000. Is this a way for her to pay for private jets to travel? Because she does use private jets to travel often. And I know that because she would travel with private jets to rallies that we went to. And so that's $389,435 for travel. Conferences, conventions, and meetings, $518,000. That could be some of the Blexit rally cost. Cool. Let's see some transparency on that, And then, again, she was operating Blexit at a loss every year. There's $925,000 they were in the hole in 2021, I believe. And then in the end of 2022, they were $1.7 million in the hole. And in 2023, I think it was another $1 million. And that's when TPUSA took over Blexit. She handed it over to TPUSA and now she's trying to destroy TPUSA.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing about this because it's like,
Yeah.
I just want transparency from her because if you're gonna claim transparency, everybody else has to answer your questions. Here's where, and we only have about 15 more minutes. Here's where I have a problem. So I just watched Candace's recent video where she is talking about Erica Kirk, and the moment when Erica Kirk goes to Charlie's casket and she cries. And everyone has dogged Erica for doing that. They They think it's so weird. They think it's awful. They think it's like her trying to get attention. We don't know these people personally. I don't think that Charlie and Erica are normal people. I think Charlie, I've met him a few times in my life, and I wish I could go longer into the interactions I've had with him, which I will maybe in another video. He wasn't a normal person.
No, by definition,
like,
these people they're larger than life in some ways. Yeah, they're different.
They're different. And I think that Charlie chose someone who's different, you know?
Absolutely.
I do think that if I were to guess what she was doing with that moment, this was fresh. First of all, the first 24 hours after someone dies, especially someone close to you, even myself, I was not normal during that 24 hours.
You can't judge them.
I didn't sleep that whole night. I lashed out at two people. I lashed out at my mom, and I shouldn't have done that, but my mom said something really incredibly annoying and rude, and I just told her to F off.
Because you're on edge.
I never cuss.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I wasn't acting normal that 24 hours. So I don't judge anything that Erica did during that time because it was an incredibly crazy and tragic event that happened that was almost surreal. I mean, it was surreal. It was gnarly, right? It was just gnarly. Like I think, and the whole world witnessed it. I also think she was trying to have an Emmett Till moment. She was trying to show the world what they did, you know, because show them and be like, hey, this is you killed my husband. You killed my husband, just like Emmett Till's mom was like, you killed my son. And I do believe that was, for me, that's what I think it was, but I'm not sure what the intention behind that was. But anyways, regardless of all that, Candace said, this is in her latest video, she said, if you're going to allow the public to see something as intimate as that, you have to keep allowing them to see the way you're grieving and everything. Yeah. And she's upset that Erica Kirk has not disclosed where Charlie's buried. And I think the conspiracy theorists think Charlie is like, I don't know, somewhere being pickled right now still, that he's not buried 3 months later, but I don't know. And Erica Kirk has said, hey, I'm not going to share where this is at because
for obvious reasons,
leftists are insane and they will defile it. They've already defiled memorials for Charlie. And she wants to have a place where she can feel safe with her daughters. Because remember, she's the mother of two of his children, two of his little girls. And to go be able to visit the girl.
Correction, he has a girl and a boy. Just, he doesn't have two daughters. He has a girl and a boy.
Grave of, and so Candace is demanding that Erica continues to allow the public into her grief and into her, the decisions she has made in regards to Charlie's death. Well, Candace, are you a hypocrite? Because you shared your intimate texts with Charlie.
Some of them.
You have shared texts that were never meant to be for the public, but you didn't share them all. Are you going to share all of the texts? So, I mean, this is an extremely divisive thing that's happening right now. And
it sure is.
Even if you did believe that TPUSA is behind it and that Charlie was living in the Truman Show, that Charlie, one of the smartest, wisest guys that has ever existed in our modern times, somehow didn't know that he was being tricked by his own wife and his own best friends. I mean, multiple people.
Which is a crazy thing.
And the government and Trump and
Egyptian planes.
All these people that have been roped into these theories. So it's a lot. It's a lot. But at the same time, we aren't allowed to question the person that's spreading a lot of this. And I know I'm going to be attacked by her followers in this. They're going to say I'm trying to take her spot, or I don't know. I don't want her spot.
No, thanks.
Like I said, I'd rather live in a pocket. I haven't posted in 5 months. I'm not trying to do this for a living.
Yeah.
I haven't done a long video like this in 5 months. So there's a lot more I could say. I'm running out of time, but is Candace a liar? Yeah. Did she really work 30 hours for Blexit? I know that she's shared some things. Joshua, you're more privy to it. Some things that aren't true in her theories.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just applying the questions that the same kind of questions that she's been asking, like you said, is she going to share? She said that Erica is having Meghan Markle syndrome because she wants
That's
some things
dirty.
public and not other things. Well, you shared some of his text messages. How about sharing the text messages around the time when you left TPUSA, when there was that breakup, or around the time when Charlie Kirk unfollowed you on social media?
How about just the last 24 months?
You
Or
know,
share your text messages when you were congratulating him for the birth of his daughters.
right?
Did you?
The
If they
weeks
were
leading
so
up to his
close,
death.
yeah,
Yeah. The weeks leading up
exactly,
to his death. Were you still close? Because
There we
yeah.
go. Good
his
question.
real close friends that he worked with every day say you weren't. And the text messages you're sharing seem like they're old. So,
For a reason.
just applying the same, we're just asking questions logic to her. I mean,
And let me real quick. Let me talk about that. Just asking questions. Let's just be honest. Let's all look. Come on up here. All the Cantifa people. All Cantifa. Make sure you get your seats right up here in the front of the church. We are assuming something when we're just asking questions. I know that's true. I know it when I do it. I know I am assuming something. I'm making an allegation. I am proposing something. Maybe even want to say I'm accusing you of something when I'm just asking questions. We know it. It's honest. We just want you to be honest too. Like no, I admit I'm being biased when I ask the question. Show me the last 24 months of your text messages. Show me the 920 building email. I want to see the email conversation between this alleged person that told you about the Egyptian hit. That's what I want to see. I'm making an assertion by asking that question. I know what my motive is. I just want to do the same thing for you. So, like when we say that, let's just be honest. We know we're making an assertion. We know it. Let's go. We're done.
a lot of her theories would fall apart really quickly, and like she said some things that, just a few quick examples, that she got the time wrong on one of her theories with like the
It was the
Egyptian
Egyptian
planes.
planes. And that's the
Yeah.
thing. The Egyptian plane one, I think, is the strongest one she has. I guess,
But even then, it's just like
Why?
she doesn't know what she's talking about.
yeah.
Like she got the time wrong. Like
Mhm.
UTC, she
It's
thought
very
that meant
reckless.
Utah time.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very reckless.
She just threw it
So
out there.
I just want to quickly, because I
Yeah.
only have
Go
2 more
ahead. Go
minutes, I
ahead.
just want to quickly share my final thoughts on some of this and then ask her some questions if she's willing to answer them, although I doubt she'll ever see this video, but maybe
Yeah.
her followers will force her to watch it or something.
Yeah.
Her followers can ask the questions.
So, first of all, her videos are done very clickbait style. I have something very exciting to share with you. And if you look at the comment section, people are having a heyday over this. They're like putting popcorn emojis, like this is something fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing fun about this. Whether
No.
Candace is right or wrong, this is not fun. This is a man's life, his wife, and his 2 kids, and his organization that he built his whole life putting together. There's nothing fun about this. So that right there alone is like part of the reason why I'm speaking up right now, is because I'm tired of seeing this turn into like a cat fight, like a fun, like we're watching a WWE wrestling match between Candace and Erica. And that's what, if you look at Candace's comment section, that's what it looks like by the people that are really into what she's doing. I also don't think that Candace should be silenced. It's free speech. It's a free country. She obviously likes how her followers are treating this and the conclusions that they're coming to, because she has not rebuked them for what they're doing. And I know she reads her comments because she hearts some of them. She's very clever with her words. So if you notice, she'll often accuse her followers are like, the feds are doing a terrible job at this investigation. You're the only one that's doing it right. You guys, it's the Utah Attorney General that's doing the investigation. It's the Utah Attorney General that released the text messages that were given to them by Tyler Robinson's weird lover, trans lover, right? It's not the feds. It's the Utah Attorney Generals that filed the charges against Tyler Robinson. It's not the feds. And she knows this. I hope she does. But she likes to use the fed slop and feds because people don't trust the feds. But really, if she's honest, it's actually the Attorney General office that's conducting the investigation. The feds, they're doing an investigation too, but they're basically showing whether or not it's a domestic terrorism or if it's a hate crime. They're not involved in the actual formal charges of the murder of Charlie Kirk. The murder. They're just trying to, they can press charges if they can see that it's domestic terrorism or if it's a hate crime. But it's the Utah Attorney General's office that's doing the investigation. So if you have a problem with that, you need to take it up with them, not the feds. And a lot of people are saying fed slop. So, and then my final thing I want to say is that after researching nonprofits, I've been doing this for 2 years now. All nonprofits have drama. All of them do, especially the big ones. Blexit had drama. Candace Owens required all of her employees to sign non-disclosure agreements. They all have conflicts with donors who want one narrative to be pushed and they're upset that it's not. And just because a nonprofit has drama within it doesn't mean that they're guilty of killing their founder and their leader. That's not enough evidence to hold up in a court. It just is not.
It's wild.
And it's very convenient for Candace that she's able to uncover TPUSA drama because there's going to be drama in nonprofits. There always is. There was drama in Blexit. She was $1 million in the hole every year for the last 3 years she was running it. And she probably had weird demands from donors as well. But it's not uncovered because there isn't a big event to uncover it, right? So I just want everyone to really think critically and to make sure that they are not being sensationalized because it's been turned because the way she's doing it. It's fine that she's doing her investigation, but the way she's doing it is very sensationalized. I have something exciting. It's so exciting. And now the U.S. military, and now something it's else. French Legionnaires. And, it's very like, ooh, and people are getting out their popcorn, right? So we just have to stay grounded and in truth. And I hope that with that truth and staying grounded, that people start demanding answers from her. I had more to share. I'm sure, Joshua, you had more to share as well, but we're running out of time. I don't want this to be too long. I don't want to do this again. Maybe no one will watch this and I won't have to. But there's more that we could say and there's more that we could share, but we don't really have time right now to do that. And I just hope everyone continues to think critically and pray and follow what God is telling them to do. And that's that.
All right.
Do you have anything more to say, Joshua?
No, I mean, I hope people have the same questioning spirit and skepticism for her that they do for everything else.
And to remind everyone that these are real humans. Candace is a human. Erica is a human. She's not a robot. She's got 2 children from Charlie. Charlie chose her as his wife. They were very close. He made it very clear. She made it very clear. These are human lives. These are people. People are flawed. We're all flawed. But at the same time, hypocrisy needs to be pointed out. And that's why I think that Candace should address what's happened with her organization and the millions of dollars in debt and the paying herself and saying that she worked 30 hours a week. Did she actually do that? I'm just asking questions.
Yep.
I love it. Shout out to Callie Fontanea and her husband, Joshua. That was really good. I thought it was good behind the scenes, if you will. What was going on in the shenanigans, as well as giving you a place to actually look it up and do the research yourself. That might drive you to find out more things about it or whatnot like that. And, shout out to her for sure. I appreciate them sharing that. I know it was difficult. She kind of mentioned that it was hard to do that, and I can understand it totally. And I'm glad that they did, though. So shout out to them. Shout out to the best live chat on the internet. Thank y'all so much to everybody who's jumped in. I appreciate you. I see those green hearts up in there. Shout out real quick. All right, here we go. I put the poll question up, and let me see where we are right now. I asked the question. All right. All right. What will be the outcome of Erica Kurt and Candace Owens having a talk? 49%, let's just say 50 for easy math, said nothing, just more Candace Owens foolishness. 10% said Candace Owens will be challenged and stopped. Candace Owens will dial it back a lot, and that was only 13%. But 30% of you all said, not sure, but I'm worried. Okay. I mean, that's a reasonable poll. I don't think it's abnormal. I think it's probably right. If most of us are right, like, you know what, looking at what we know about Candace so far, there's no reason to believe that she's going to move any differently than the way she's doing right now. So shout out to the 500 and looks like 550 of you all that did comment on that. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate y'all. Let me go ahead. I'll leave it up for a moment because I got another quick one that I want to look at. I don't know who introduced me to this lawyer, but shout out to you. You are the real MVP. Whoever this is that introduced me to this lawyer. And let me pull him back in. His name, of course, is Nick Johnson. Nick Jones? I forgot his name that quick. Let me pull this in. Bang. All right, let's check out what he's going to say. He asked the question, is Candace Owens' business model built on defamation, which I think is a dope question. Let's go.
Brooks, a California
Nick
attorney.
Brooks.
And backed by popular demand, we're discussing Candace Owens. This time, we're not just talking about her lawsuits. We're talking about her entire business model. When you put together the Macron saga, the Erica Kirk assassination theories, and years of conspiracies about Israel, Egypt, and even the United States, does it start to look like commentary or like defamation as part of the product? Start with the scale of the Candace Owens business. Reporting estimates her company brings in up to the low to mid single-digit millions per year from a mix of YouTube, a high ad density podcast with dozens of rotating sponsors, speaking fees, merchandise, and books. In that conservative media ecosystems, advertisers pay premium rates to be in front of her audience, and outlets from Fortune to Bloomberg point out the more provocative and conspiratorial the content, the more it tends to blow up, which means more views, higher ad rates, and more money flowing through her whole operation. One example, in Delaware, Emmanuel and Bridget Macron say Owens took a debunked rumor that Bridget is secretly a man, tied it to incest and abuse of power, and turned it into a recurring Becoming Bridget arc across platforms. Their complaint does not just call it hurtful, it says she used these verifiably false and devastating claims to promote her platform, gain notoriety, and generate income, and even weaponize their retraction letters as more content. Another example, Erica Kirk. She's now on CBS saying her one-word message to Owens is stop, because Owens is making serious money while spinning multi-episode assassination and fraud narratives around Charlie's death that repeatedly drag Erica, Turning Point USA, and foreign actors into the story. Erica's concern is not abstract. She says that these theories are bleeding into how the public and potential jurors see a real murder case, the same way the Macrons say Candace's series is bleeding into how the world sees Bridget's identity. Zoom out again, and the targets get bigger. Owens has spent years accusing countries like Israel and Egypt and others, and sometimes even the United States government itself, of staging attacks, assassinations, and wars as part of hidden plots, including claims about Israel deliberately attacking American ships like the USS Liberty. These are marketed as just asking questions, but they present detailed stories about who did what and why, which pushes them towards specific, factual allegations, not just, I don't like this policy. When you line up the Macrons, Erica Kirk, and the country-level conspiracies, the pattern looks like a playbook. Pick a shocking theory, attach it to real names and institutions, serialize it across shows and platforms, and let the outrage drive attention. Business coverage notes that her most controversial arcs often bring the biggest engagement and economic upside, which is why critics and the Macrons in their complaint describe these narratives as a campaign that also happens to be profitable. And quick note to Candace's followers. No one is paying me to say this. I'm not being paid by the Macrons, by Erica Kirk, by Israel, by Egypt, or any political organization to make these videos. I do this because I'm a California attorney who actually enjoys explaining how defamation and speech law work when massive platforms collide with real people and real nations. And if business ever comes from that for me, it's because viewers think I'm good at my job as an attorney, not because anybody bought my opinion. And if Candace Owens ever wants to test my channel in court, I invite that, sweetheart, and California would be an interesting place to do it. California's anti-SLAPP law gives strong protection to speech about public figures and public issues, and lets you ask for your fees if someone files a lawsuit just to shut up that speech, especially when you're accurately describing public lawsuits and major reporting. If you want more blunt breakdowns like this, please hit like. Drop a comment with whether you think this looks like sharp-edged commentary or defamation as a business model. Subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next update. And share this video with someone who thinks all of this is just content with no real-world consequences. Thank you very much.
I like him. Y'all do me a favor, mods. Let's make sure that we drop the link in the chat. Y'all go check this guy out. I like Nick Brooks. Shout out to him. Yeah, he's giving hope. He's giving hope. Make sure the link is dropped in the chat. Yeah, let's make sure we go by and support Mr. Brooks and let him know we appreciate him. Give him a green heart or two. Tell him, hey, Jason would love for him to fall on through. Come on. I'd like to talk to him. That would be fun. I think he seems like a smart guy. I like him. And he's in California. You know, California, my wife likes California. I'm not a fan of it. But, hey, this guy could change my mind for sure. I'm starting to get the feeling that, you know what? Well, I've already said it. I believe the Macron's got her cooked. She's cooked as far as the Macron's case goes. It's a wrap. So, you know, shout out to Mr. Brooks. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's go. Let's go. Put your money up. Oh, they're talking about put your money up on it. Oh, man. I'll put the $7,000 that allegedly I was paid. There you go. Problem solved. Shout out for sure. Thank you so much for that. Whoever told me about this guy, you are the real MVP for sure. Now, as the night goes on, as the day gets longer, Paramount Tactical was actually on the Charlie Kirk show this morning. And they had a good conversation. I do want to bring in what they talked about. Well, let me start with, let's bring Charlie Kirk show in first and what they talked about as it relates to, where is it, Jason? I had the link. Hold on one second. There it is. So they give a little intro to kind of tell you what they're, kind of explain what today is going to be like or why today didn't go exactly like they had planned. So let me bring this in real quick.
Every day is a battle for your mind raging. Information coming from every angle with the will to deceive. Fear not. You found the place for truth. The voice of a generation that still has the will to believe in the greatest country in the history of the world. This is the Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up. Here we go.
All right. Happy Monday, December 15th. Radio stations across the country, Real America's Voice, streaming, all the things. Blake, happy Monday.
Is it?
Yeah, well.
Happy we got to Monday.
A lot of stuff went down this weekend, not the least of which, I just want to call out the elephant in the room. We had invited Candace Owens to be a part of a live stream today on this show, later today after our live show. She, of course, declined to show up in person. And then over the weekend, Erica Kirk announced that she's going to be meeting privately, and so with her, and so
sometime today.
And so per that tweet, she said basically all live streams, public discussions, and tweets are on hold until after this meeting.
We'll see what unfolds.
So we will see what unfolds. We are prepped, ready, either way. So that's basically where we're going to leave that discussion, and. You know, we're actually going to have Paramount Tactical, Gary Melton, on the show at the halfway point in this hour. We're going to just talk about some of the.
We're going to have two different guests, I believe. Just talking about
Viva Fry is going to come on and talk about why he believes Tyler is the shooter. He's going to go through some of the evidence, and he's also going to talk about his own little sort of spats and squabbles on social media, and then we are. Gonna, like I said, Gary Melton from Paramount Tactical, ballistics expert. He's also visited the campus of UVU since and retraced the steps of Tyler Robinson. All that and more will happen today. And then we're going to get into how Charlie was kind of a modern day It's a Wonderful Life story.
Yeah. It's an interesting pitch. It's a friend of Chris Rufo reached out and said, this friend of mine has an interesting idea.
No, it's a good take.
Yeah, it's good.
As soon as you told it to me, I was like, he's pretty right.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of news to go over in the meantime. And, obviously we had the Bondi Beach terrorism, which was just horrendous. We're going to get into that just in a second. We had Rob Reiner was apparently stabbed to death along with his wife, Michelle, who it appears that the son, Nick, who's had mental problems and drug abuse problems, homelessness problems, he's now in custody. And of course, we had this Brown shooting where we're hearing reports that a Republican, campus Republican, well, she's dead. We know that, and it's a really terrible story. But there is also reports that she may have been targeted. So let's get into all of these stories because we gotta go quick here. Let's hit Rob Reiner because I think you and I both have some feelings about that.
Yeah, that broke last night.
So they're talking about Rob Reiner. I didn't want to go too far off the rails, but I did want to give you just an opportunity to hear, rather, that they were ready to have that discussion, to talk about the various things that have been levied against TPUSA and address those lies. And they said they chose not to because Erica Kurt told them not to because of the meeting that she was having with Candace Owens. So we have to wait and see. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. But I do want to bring in the actual conversation they had with Paramount Tactical. Shout out to them for sure to break down some ballistics for us, and we'll see where we go from here. So let's bring it in. Let's go. And I think it's still got the same intro. Sorry about that.
Relentless in spirit. You're listening to The Charlie Kirk Show.
All right, welcome back to Real America's Voice. Gary, I just want you to give you a chance. Explain your background, how people can follow you. You got about a minute.
Yeah, no worries. Number one, like I said, 9/11 happened a couple days later. I was in a recruiting station, ended up with the initial push into Iraq. I was sniper team leader during that tour. I came back, went special operations, did 3 more combat tours, multiple training tours. Ended up working as a special tactics instructor for a federal agency. And long story short, I wanted to work for myself. So I opened up Paramount Tactical Solutions. We offer training to civilians, military and law enforcement, and from basic to advanced, whether it's handgun. We kind of specialize. We're known for long range. So you can find us at ParamountTactical.com. On top of that, you can also go check out our YouTube channel, Paramount Tactical, and as well as our X account, Instagram. Look for Paramount Tactical. You'll find us.
Yeah, I love that.
We love it.
Yeah, you've been doing great work. I just everybody should follow Gary's work. He is I reference him all the time, and we're going to get into ballistics. Do bullets do weird things? I'm going to ask Gary that when we welcome back National Radio. 1 sec.
Sorry about that. I should have cut that
All right,
out.
welcome back. Radio stations across the country. We have Gary Melton from Paramount Tactical. Great follow online. If you want the truth, and actually just I think kind of an honest observer, outside observer's view of some of the conspiracy theories that are going on. So Gary, everybody that I've talked to since all this happened that's been in combat, everybody that I know in that role that's actually seen live fire in combat says that bullets do weird things. What do they mean by that when they say that?
Look, when we talk about ballistics, we have internal, external, and terminal ballistics. And terminal ballistics is the study of what happens when a projectile hits a target. And it is the most unpredictable. We're pretty good at predicting what happens internally and externally. But once it hits a target, there's so many things going on. It is an extremely high speed, energetic event. And there's so many things that happen at the micro level. Soon as that projectile touches anything, at the speeds that it's going to deform. And really, the prediction of that kind of goes out the window after that. The real problem that we have here in this particular case is everything that we would even begin to try to predict what could possibly happen. We don't know. We don't know the type of ammunition. Was it, store-bought? Was it hand loads? We don't know the weight of the bullet. What grain was it? Was it 55 grain? You can go all the way up to 220 grain. What type of projectile was it? Was it frangible?
Yeah, Gary,
all those things.
When you're talking about the grain, what does that mean exactly for the layman?
It's the weight of the bullet.
So is that how it is?
How much mass? Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Just how much mass the bullet is. How heavy it is.
Got it.
It's what we use to actually measure. We don't use ounces or pounds to measure bullets. We use grains. And so it's how heavy that is. And so, the thing that we need to understand is that the 30-06 was one of the most popular rifles in the United States for a really long time. And when we're picking ammunition, whether we're shooting, varmints all the way up to moose, there is a ammunition type specified for the 30-06. And then you get into things like, right here I have reduced recoil ammunition, low recoil ammunition, tumble upon impact ammunition. Again, some additional reduced recoil. And when we have this large array of different ammunition and projectile types, to come to the conclusion that they're all going to result in have the same results, which is what people seem to think, is a little crazy. And then just on top of that, like we could take the exact same ammunition, the exact same rifle, the exact same target, and you're going to have varied results if you were shooting that exact same target 100 times. It's just it's very hard to predict what's going on. And there's a lot of variables that we can't account for, and we don't even have that information when it comes to the Tyler Robinson case to begin with. But there's also a lot of variables that you'll never account for, just between the variances of the ammo, conditions, the way that it hits the target.
Yeah,
all of these things.
We have a question from a listener, Jazz. They ask, why didn't the dude have a gun when he was jumping off the roof? Plus, was him putting it together or taking it apart with those little tools and being able to do it so quickly? Was that plausible? Especially on the second one. I'd have to refresh myself on the first. My belief is, did he have it? He was carrying it in his pant leg.
Yeah, he carried it in his pant leg. He was walking with a weird gait on the video, and we actually have some images of this, Gary. If you want to start,
but if you have thoughts
it.
on the assembly question specifically, because
so unfortunately, what we had was the governor of Utah make kind of a silly statement, and he said when he was after he took the shot, he disassembled it. That is not true. And he actually does have the rifle when he jumps off of the building, and you can actually see it in several shots. The problem is we have a really crappy video that has been cropped way in. But if you actually look at it, there are many times where you can see what is clearly a rifle. Now, as far as assembly, what we believe is that he actually had the barreled action separated from the stock. And when he was walking around with that barreled action down his leg. So that's just the action in the barrel. The part that holds it all together, well, not really the part that holds it all together, but the stock, the part that is separate from it. So he could make it more compact and carry it to the shooting location. Here's some great examples of pictures that I pulled where you can actually see that he clearly has something much longer. The problem is that this video footage is so poor. And then on top of that, it's zoomed so it's cropped so far in that it is very difficult to see this. And I understand why people are confused by that. But all it takes is 2 screws to put the barrel action back onto the stock itself. And it's not going to affect accuracy or anything like that. It would take less than a minute, and it's not that complicated, not that hard, but people have tried to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, this was fantastic, Gary. We're going to have you on again soon. Gary Milton, Paramount Tactical, thank you.
All right.
We'll be back.
All right. Shout out to Gary as well as the Charlie Kirk Show. I thought it was just a great explanation. And really, when the smoke clears, when everything is said and done, we do realize that life doesn't go exactly like we intended or exactly like we know it, or rather we think it should go. So the idea and the notion that a projectile being shot from a rifle is going to behave the exact same way every single time is just not practical. It just doesn't work like that. And I understand. I've talked to Gary. He has my number. He had me on the show last week. An excellent guy. He is very, very smart, and he knows what he's talking about. So if he says it, you know what? I'm going to roll with him. I'm going to go ahead and just say, hey, I'm going to rock with him because he does understand it way more than me. He's shot way more times than I have under various conditions and circumstances. So, shout out to him. Thank you so much to the moderators for dropping Paramount in the chat. I appreciate it. All right, what we got here? Okay, lots of good commentary. Let me, real quick, thank y'all so much. Let's talk about these supers right here. We got Amethyst right here. Welcome to all our international viewers. Shout out in the chat real quick. Where are you from? Real quick. Thank you, Thank you, Amethyst, for the $2 super. Real quick, in the chat, just go ahead, find a flag, an emoji that represents where you're from. Let's see where you all are from. Shout out. Slayer Princess with the 10. Jason, I am so bummed. I was hoping for an Ultimate Candy Exposed today during TPUSA stream, and that it could be beginning of Candace Owens fading into unknown obscurity just in time for Christmas. And my popcorn ready. Well, I mean, anything can still happen. Shout out for sure, Slayer Princess. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 10. And then what we have here. Thank you so much, 5687 with the 5. Narcissists accuse people of what they are doing. Full stop. That right there deserves, I mean, that is it. That's the truth right there. That's the problem. Candace is doing what she's telling other people that they are doing. It's very clear, extremely obvious. I have personally experienced this. That is why she's accusing TPUSA of financial shenanigans. Thank you so much. Very keen observation. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. It was Avengers Assemble says, Candace is not Godzilla. Why Godzilla? Why Godzilla, man? She can be questioned and confronted in the right venue. Well, why Godzilla, though? Did you mean Godzilla? Shout out for sure. Well, we got everybody. Where y'all from up in this building? Oh, yeah. Really? The UK up in here. Good to see you, friend. How are you? Niagara Falls up in Canada. Okay. We're international up in here. Ireland. Well, then, I mean, Florida's kind of like a different place as well. We know Mississippi is special. Shout out to Mississippi in the building. Tennessee up in the house. Hungry in the house. Wow. Welcome. We got fire emojis in the house. I don't know where you're from, but shout out to the fire emojis. Orlando up in here. Tucson. Oh, yeah, the Peach State. Georgia on my mind. What's going on, good people? What's going on, South Africa? How are you? Brazil in the house. We all over the place, man. We are everywhere. We all up in here, even in North Virginia, Missouri, and all that good stuff. Y'all, thank y'all so much for following through on this afternoon, this evening. The goal, the intention, the plan was to be ready in case they did have a live stream about the shenanigans. At the current moment, it looks like they did not. It looks like maybe, who knows, maybe Erica shut her down. Maybe Erica said, stop it, just put it into it. Maybe she served her a cease and desist letter. I don't know. I think it would be fun no matter what. That's for sure. I think it would be fun. Texas up in here. And them Alabamians. Shout out to Illinois. What's going on? The great state of Texas. Lone Star. Texas, but I'm from California. Okay, I got you. What's going on, Virginia? South California. The Netherlands. Y'all, look, we take for granted, man. I don't take it for granted that y'all tap in from all these different places. Shout out for sure, man. That is amazing. Thank y'all so much. All my UK, all my New Zealand. There we go. We got them all over the place up in here. All right. We're going to clean the palette. We're going to do something totally not related to Candace, totally not related to any shenanigans at all. So every now and then, if you're new to the channel, I like to just let's just talk about something else, okay? And this is, again, this is a serious topic. I'm not being funny, okay? How far would you travel for work? Like, how far do you travel for work? And what's too far in your mind? So first of all, how far do you travel? And then what's like too far to travel for work? An hour, 30 minutes, 50 miles? Like what is it? Well, shout out to all us retired people in the building for sure. There we go. Up in New Zealand. I love it. He said, I travel one flight of stairs. I love it. Like what's too, like, how far do you travel now? Like, I travel like 90 feet. Okay. And then what's too far to travel in your mind? For work. We just, too far is over an hour. Okay. That's fine. Depends on the pay. Well, People will do some strange things for change. That is true. 20 feet is crazy. What is this? TPUSA publicly. Thank you so much for the $2, Vanessa. TPUSA publicly. What did I miss? I hope I didn't miss something. I don't think she'll stream today. I mean, it's still possible. I mean, but she doesn't like streaming super late. Like 6 o'clock is like her cutoff for the latest she'll stream. Because remember her stream. Oh, by the way, Candace's streams are not streams. They're videos that are edited and put up as live streams. They're not live. This is live. Like I'm doing a live stream, right? Because y'all know I'm imperfect. To let y'all know how live this show is. Candace's show is not live. Her show is recorded in advance and put up as a live stream. So she needs time to actually put up the recording. Do the recording, get it edited, and upload. That's why I really don't think she does this homeschooling like she says. I just don't. I don't believe it. But so anyway, yeah, I don't. To answer your question, shout out. Okay, so the reason I ask you about how far would you travel on Twitter, there's this little pocket of Twitter where people talk about how far they travel. And this is the craziest thing. This guy lives in Philadelphia, PA. Shout out to Philly. And he travels to Atlanta every day to go to work. That makes no sense to me. I live in Atlanta. My in-laws live in Philadelphia. That's crazy. There's no way I would do that. Like, what? And the job doesn't look like somebody said it depends on the pay. The job doesn't look like it's one of those kind of jobs, if you will. It's crazy work. So I'm going to pull this in. I just thought it was super interesting. I want to hear your thoughts on it. Again, this is a clean the palate while I'm waiting for my guests to come in. So let's bring this in. All right. What a day. Let me pull this out of the way. Let me back this up. This guy goes, what a day looks like for someone who works in Atlanta but lives in Philadelphia. For the life of me, I don't understand that. So he's leaving the house at 4:50 in the morning to walk to the train station. And he gets back home at 9:15 p.m. Let's check it out. Okay, there is no way in the world I would be doing that. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. It's okay.
And there isn't a lot of volume on here, so. So he gets to Atlanta at 9:07. Yeah. That's our Marta. I know exactly where that is. Grabs us a coffee. So it's 10 o'clock. He hasn't made it to work yet. It's 10 o'clock. He has not made it to work. He's working now. I didn't get the time. Back up just a little smidgen. So 10:10, he hasn't made it to work yet. He's working. Takes a lunch at 1. Gets a pizza. I know where that place is. That's crazy. Viewing rentals in Atlanta. Like, heading back to the airport. So he's heading back to the airport at 2:30. So he's only been at work for 4.5 hours at best. Really 3 hours. But this is the thing that I just couldn't understand. How are you working at the airport? If you could work at the airport, couldn't you work from home in Philly? This is the craziest thing I've ever seen, y'all. I've never seen this before. And apparently a lot of people do this. I'm gobsmacked. Boarding a plane to Philly at 6 p.m. Arrives at 8, so a 2-hour flight. Running to catch the SEPTA, all that kind of good jazz. And he is back at home at 9:15.
Like I'm home.
Yo, It doesn't seem worth it. I'm like, you could, for just the airfare alone, if you took his traveling, SEPTA, what is that called? I forgot what SEPTA stood for, but I know MARTA stands for Metro Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. If you just took his train budget and the plane budget, he could get him a long-term Airbnb here in Atlanta and just live here and go back home every weekend or once a month or something. Like, why do people do this? This makes no sense at all to me. I mean, how far is Philly? About 700 miles. Let's just say 800 for easy math. Many Europeans do this? Really? Yo, that is the craziest thing. That's the question I have right here. The question right here is, how much are they paying him? You got to be paying me some bread. But he only works like 3-4 hours. Like, what's the purpose of going to Atlanta to do what you could do right here in Philadelphia? Like, do the work remote and then go to Atlanta once a month to check in or whatever like that for a team meeting. Or live in Atlanta and then just go back to Philly on the weekend. Like, why do the back and forth every day? That's the part I just do not understand. I'm like, what am I seeing? What's going on here? Is this what people are doing now? And this is such a great use or an odd use of free will. Like, why in the world are you doing this? I don't get it. So that's why I ask y'all, like, how far do y'all travel, man? I knew a pilot that lived in Seattle area and flew out of Miami. See, I think working for an airline is different. I could be wrong, but I think working for an airline is slightly different because they do that kind of stuff. I have a friend that lives here and they make him, thankfully Delta is hubbed here in Atlanta, but they do make airlines do make people fly like to Chicago because of, which one is it? Is it Spirit? One of them is housed or headquartered there. So I can kind of see airlines a little bit different. But that's just such a weird thing. Like, why use your free will to do that? He is looking for a rental, but I'm like, that wouldn't be hard. We have Airbnbs everywhere. We have rental apartments everywhere, rental houses everywhere. Like, that's not an issue. So I'm hoping that he does actually, settle down somewhere, because that made me tired just looking at it. Like, dude, I don't like the airport like that. Plus, if you think about like paying for Clear and our TSA pre-check and all that kind of stuff like that, that adds up, man. All that money, you can use that for a rental in a heartbeat. He was renting a car. I don't see many Zip cars, though. I thought that was interesting. I don't see Zip cars very much. They were very big before the pandemic here in Atlanta. They were everywhere, but I don't see them very much now. Well, it's possible, Chad. It's possible. Somebody could do that. Where he is right now is Philadelphia, that I know. And where he was is Atlanta, that I know. Now, whether or not he really travels there every day, okay, maybe it's possible. It just seemed like such a weird story. Like, dude, what in the world? How are we using our free will like this? Like, good gracious, man. That's why we can't have nice things. Is that what you think happened? He just did it for the video? So somebody like me, a Yahoo like me, will call him out? I don't even know if I call him out. I'm just like, well, if they're paying him to do it, I ain't mad at you. It's just, I wouldn't do it. Your boy did. Oh my gosh, man. My back is getting tired just thinking about sitting in a plane like that. No, he doesn't stay in Atlanta for a week. No. You go home on the weekends? I worked with someone who did that, lived in Mississippi and worked in Tampa. Like, if you stay there long enough, I have a friend who his family is right here in Atlanta and he works in Philadelphia and he stays there. He has an apartment there in Philly and he travels to Atlanta several times a month to be with his family. Because of the job, that's the choice he made. I ain't mad at that. But he's not coming home every night, though. That would be the craziest thing. I just couldn't put it together. Right? Yeah. Like, why not just stay overnight, and then you'll be at work tomorrow. You get a lot of work done, and then you just stay, and then go back home to Philadelphia and work remote. It was just weird. I wanted to hear what y'all thought about it. I thought it'd be a fun observation. Like, look, wait, it has nothing to do with anything. We're not talking about anything complex, nothing to stir up any mess or anything like that. It's just I thought it was just a fun conversation. It is such a weird use of free will. Like, my gosh, my goodness. All right. So since y'all behave so well, let's go ahead. We will bring in, we'll do our other palate cleanse. Y'all know how I like to do these. And it's just a fun opportunity. I do have a guest that's supposed to be coming on, and this will give me a chance to check and see if she's I don't see her in the back yet. So let's bring on good old Christian Johnson. Y'all know I like him, and he's a comedian. He'll be here in Atlanta in May. And so once I know exactly when he's when his show is, I'm gonna announce a meet and greet centered around that. Maybe we'll go to the play, have a good time, and then go out and get dinner or something like that. So stay tuned for that for sure. All right, let's bring Christian up in here. All right, real quick, make sure green hearts in the chat when you can hear. Let's go.
Okay, so you're cooking up some ground beef. What you making? From the stuff in the background, I think you're making tacos. Oh, wait. I thought you was making tacos. Is that pizza dough? What's happening here? Okay, I see what's going on with the going on. He couldn't make up his mind, so he making pizza and tacos. Oh my, wait, he putting the taco stuff in the... Somebody! Sweet! Anything for Salinas. Jesus, this man just made taco stuffed crust pizza? Oh, Heavenly Padre, it's not delivery, it's De Jorge Pizza. Wait, why he ain't just cook it all together? Hey, don't burn the crust now.
That does look kind of good, I ain't gonna lie.
Ooh, see, this the kind of big activities that just make my back happy. Can you imagine you thinking you eating cheese pizza, get to the crust and to find out it's full of fiesta? Whew, just looking at that, I feel a song in my spirit. I'll allow a little bit, but what song? Baila more. He made taco stuffed crust pizza. Baila more. Asqueros, os pedidos, dinero. We gonna have to work on that Spanish. What I'm trying to work on is 2 of them slices. I'll take 2. I hear that because he done stuffed tacos inside. You know what? I'll take some of that taco crust pizza. Lord have mercy.
Shout out for sure. I really appreciate Christian Johnson. Great comedian. Like I said, he's going to be in Atlanta in May. And as soon as I know for a fact exactly when, I'm gonna pick up some tickets for Lady Dear World Christian. Y'all want to come fall through? We can go watch the show, go get food afterward. We'll go find some tacos, stuffed pizza or something like that afterwards. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for rocking with me today. You know what? I think last night was a lot of fun. We just had tons of folk falling through and so on and so forth, just to talk about stuff and all that stuff and that's going on. So I think we should keep that spirit going. I think we should. We bringing in folk to talk about stuff and have a good time. I think that would be great. Thumbs up, green hearts in the chat if you agree. Like, hey, having some guests on is kind of good. We like hanging out with you, Jay Witt, but having some other folk would be cool also. Right, a Mexican pizza is crazy. Shout out to all my AT aliens in the building. All right, so I think that's a great idea. So I think what we'll do, we'll just tap in and get some guests in the building. How about that? So with no further ado, we have Edie in the house. What's going on, friend?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm
What's
good.
happening,
How are
friend?
you?
Quite well, thank you.
Good. Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor.
Hey, no problem. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, if my mods can please drop Edie Lowe's channel in the chat, I would love for you all to go check out what she's doing. We are on a march. We are on a steady march to hit 1,000 subscribers. Help my girl out by going ahead and subscribing, watching some videos, binge watch some videos, all that kind of stuff like that.
And thank you so much for your support. I mean, it means, I just want to say that in front of everybody. It's a tremendous blessing.
Well, I'm glad I can be a friend. I'm absolutely glad. All right, real quick, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your channel. What we're going to see when we get over there. All that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, so my name is Edie. Howdy ho there. I'm 38. I live in Virginia. I have a David. It's my husband, my greatest blessing on this earth. I have 6 puppies. I absolutely love to costume. So if you come to my channel, you're going to see costumes, but you're going to get a whole lot of Jesus. I like to expose darkness that's lurking in our culture because the Lord graciously saved me November 1st of 2020 and pulled me out of the slimy pit that I was in and fell under some false teachings there. So now I like to bring awareness to the stuff that I fell victim to and just really talk about the Lord, because everything we're seeing in culture is indicative of the sickness of our culture that only Jesus can solve. So I like to talk about it. And
I love it. I like to tell people that culture is downstream from faith and religion. So where we are culturally is you can just look back upstream or look not, and that's where we are. So you know where we are spiritually. That's what's wrong with our culture. But for sure. All right. Well, have you ever had taco stuffed pizza before?
I've had taco pizza. I've not had taco stuffed pizza. No, I've had Mexican pizza from Taco Bell. It's one of my favorite things, but not taco stuffed pizza.
We were watching a video to kind of get ourselves ready. Okay, so I want to ask you a question because last night we talked about it, and sadly I wasn't able to get you on. I should have reached out to you earlier. That was my fault. I will take responsibility for it. But the conference, the hoedown, the talk, Erica Kurt and Candace Owens. Give me your overall opinion about it. It's okay. Give me your thoughts.
I can't believe it. I posted a video. I can't believe it. And I'm going to be really upset if Erica went to Tennessee. I'm going to be really upset about it. She does not need to throw her pearls to the pigs. I don't know. My theory and what I was talking about earlier today is that Candace was shaking in her non-existent high boots at the prospect that she would be made a fool of today during their live stream. And she, went and approached Erica and asked, pretty please, can we talk about this? I think that the grace given to that woman over these past 3 months, wherein she's done nothing but disgrace the name of her best friend, Charlie Kirk. They've already done enough. They should have just let her have it. I don't know what can come of it unless Erica's serving her with papers, and in which case I'm here for it. I'm here for that.
Okay. So last night we came up with a lot of different theories, and nobody's 100% happy, and nobody's 1,000% discouraged. It's all like we all are kind of like a wait and see, I do think it might be interesting if Candace doesn't go live today. I do think that might be interesting. Not saying it's a guarantee, but tomorrow, if she comes in here acting a plumb fool, well, there we go. As a former classroom teacher, everybody has that student. Every class has that student that you silently pray that they catch pneumonia. You pray that they get the flu and that they don't come to school. And every now and then the Lord... Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. No, I was just thinking, are we going to see her? Because my fear is, and the Candies are going to let her, or Cantifa, as we call them here in support group. I call this the live chat of J-Whip, my support group for the Candyland shenanigans. My fear is that Candy Cane is going to come back as though nothing ever happened and introduce a completely new topic of conversation and just kind of brush everything under the rug. And we're not going. Go ahead.
No. Let me because that's part of my scenario where I was going with my little. So here we go. So you got that student in class, and you're always praying that the little boy, little girl don't show up. Okay, and every now and then God just blesses you, and the kid doesn't show up one day. And you're like, oh my goodness. You get so much teaching done, so much less yelling and fussing and all that kind of stuff. Everything is great. The next day, the student comes back. And here it is. This is usually what it is. Either the student says, I was sick, my mom or dad or guardian was sick, or we did something super fun and I didn't come to school that day. Now, you're always praying that it was the middle one. Like nobody could just bring you to school because they were sick and they just didn't want to get up. My mom overslept or whatever. You don't want them to have been sick because you're like, well, wait, hold on. If you were sick yesterday, that means you ain't healed today. And you also don't want it to be something like they went somewhere fun. Oh, we went to Disney World yesterday and I didn't come to school. You don't want that. You want to be something in the middle. Now, the reason I bring that up is because we don't want Candace to come in and pretend like nothing happened and start acting a fool again, just picking right back up where she left off on Thursday. We don't want that. But on the same note, I don't think it's realistic to expect that she's going to come back and be like, y'all, I repent. I've seen the errors of my ways. I don't think that's going to happen either. No. I do think it's going to be something in the middle where maybe they hit her with a cease and desist. Maybe they said, hey, we got some evidence to show you. And she comes in and just tries to meander through and say, oh, wait, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about knitting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the knitting club. And so that's what I think is happening. I mean, there could be a lot of variations to that. And we are talking about Candace and lots of people. So a lot could be wrong with my example. But I don't think she's going to totally stop. And I don't think she's going to pretend like nothing ever happened and pick back up with the shenanigans from last week. I think there's going to be some kind of pump the brakes.
Well, we shall see. Oh, sorry. 1 sec. I can't talk. Okay, bye-bye. Sorry, my husband is for work.
Oh, no problem.
He's like, wait, what? What's happening?
What's going on?
You're on a live stream? Yeah.
Okay, so that's my theory that if, she doesn't go live today, which I don't think she does, because since her show is not actually live, it's actually pre-recorded, she doesn't have time to do that. And she's not going to roll up a pre-record at 8 o'clock at night. So I think it's going to be fair to say that she doesn't. What do you think?
I think that's fair. I'm just wondering how she sketched out the time. She's busy. It's the week heading into Christmas vacation and homeschooling and
homeschooling. And remember, people were coming in town.
George was having people in town. Second birthday.
Right. To be fair, Candace never said it was his birthday. It was Cantifa on the interweb. Now, she never denied it either now, but it was Cantifa.
I don't believe that he's real. Listen, you know my theory on that. This is a Tyler Durden Fight Club situation. I don't believe Scott. I'm not kidding. This woman is so far gone. I wouldn't put it past her that. Anyway, you'll have to check out some of my videos for that take. But
no. Oh no, we're not. You're gonna tell us right now. What did you say? You don't think he exists? Oh, we got to hear this one. I'll give you a big screen.
Is this a Tyler Durden Fight Club situation? I'm just convinced that if she had people around her who loved her, my husband would have found me help. He would have said, baby doll, this ain't good. Let's get you some help. Let's find you some help. So where is her husband? Because this woman, I know that she thinks that because she's a malignant narcissist, in my opinion. I know that she thinks she's like cream of the crop, but she's making a fool of herself.
Right.
I also think that a mother, just all the mothers that I know, they have like an intrinsic need to protect their children. They think of them, their future selves. What are they going to see in this digital world that we're in now? Wouldn't she consider the humiliation they're going to endure? So are her kids real? I don't know. And just her husband, my husband would have, once I said that Jesus wasn't a Jew, my husband you wouldn't have seen me anymore. Like my phone would be gone. The channel would be gone. Like I would be, in Virginia, we have a place where people go when they're not so well. That's where he would have taken it. So I just don't know. And I say all of that, a bit sarcastically. I am sarcastic. So the Candies like to call me on that. They say I'm highly unlikable with my sarcasm. But
I like it. We like it.
I like it as well. I just don't know. Is this Tyler?
So you're arguing that.
Go ahead.
So you're arguing that he doesn't really exist.
That is I'm believing it now. I am believing it now. Like, where are her children? She has no regard for anyone, and no one seems to love her enough to intervene. Like,
okay.
Who is Skylar? Who is the other? I'm judging Skylar if that person exists. Like, how dare you be there? and allow this woman to film. Clearly. I mean, obviously we've seen photos of George and her children. Now, I don't know if that's deep fake. I'm just saying, I had a dream about it. I don't know, but I know. It doesn't pass the vibe check. All the things that we use to measure reality.
Okay.
These are Candy's.
I can't say I've heard this one, but okay. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. No. Don't change. I did see there is actually a Candace fan page. And there are pictures on there that I've never seen before of her children. It's a fan YouTube page. With it's almost like a photo dump page where there's just all these pictures and videos and clips. And I'm like, wow, I've never seen these anywhere else. And I don't want to put it out there because I don't know if 100% if they're real, but I mean, it's on YouTube. But I have to find it real quick and I'll share it with you. But
please do.
I mean, the kids look real. I'm kind of with the gentleman before, the weird theory, like she just doesn't present as if she's motherly.
Oh no.
And it's like you're putting your family, when you're 20 and dumb, you're a college student, you're co-ed, and you're out here wilding out, that kind of makes sense. Once you get married, you might still even be a little bit reckless. But once you add little people to the equation, a lot of that stuff really tampers down a lot. At least I'm going to say it, for mothers. Dads might still be out there, slaying it and dragging it home every day. But moms don't tend to do this. And she doesn't act like she's a mom.
No, she doesn't. And for the love of Job, if my life were in jeopardy from countries, not just people, like little people, right? Countries,
whole country,
I wouldn't take my children to Dollywood. Did we confirm if that was real? That was like a fan posted that, right? We confirmed that.
A fan posted that. But watch this. I wouldn't, even if she didn't take them to Dollywood, even if the Dollywood was fake, we know that you went to Tucker Carlson's Christmas party, and we know that you're going to go to Publix still. You're still going to the mall. Like, you haven't shown any evidence that any of that is real.
No.
It doesn't sound like it's real. So, yeah.
It's just not real.
I don't like it. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't vibe with me.
It's not passing the vibe check.
Nope, the vibe check. And
no.
You can't tell me that we have to be concrete because she uses vibes all the time now.
Vibes,
feelings, my gut, my senses, all that kind of stuff like that.
Can't get over her face. And I used to be a Candy. I used to really like her on the Daily Wire. Yeah.
Okay.
When she was preaching, Christ is King, I was saying hallelujah. I thought she was absolutely stunning. I like the way that she spoke, like all the things that I found endearing about her. Now it's like a needle on my eardrum. I don't know how I fell for it. I was wrong to follow her. The shame of it all. But it's disappointing. I think that's why I get so upset. It's like, you fooled me. I thought you were. I started kind of looking at her side-eyed when she was promoting that Kenneth Anger book. Kenneth Anger, crazy cuckoo boy, Hollywood Babylon. Like, why are we saying it's a fascinating book? So I did a public message for her back then. Of course, she never saw it, but I was still giving her praises. Like, girl, come on, you'd be great to expose this. You're a Christian. You're a sister in Christ. Oh.
Allegedly.
Please. She's not. She's not. I saw a photo of her in a terrible outfit. If we could just get her some help.
You in that sweater.
Oh my gosh. Did everyone else think that it was a dickie the other day? You know what I'm talking about. They're not full turtlenecks. They're just like a little tissue with the turtleneck. Yep. My granny would put me in those, put it under my dress for school. Little jumper. Did we think that was a dickie? And then she started moving, and I said, it's all sewn together. It's one sweater. Anyway, I saw a photo of her with a priest. I think, again, this could be AI, wearing a horrible outfit. I think it was during her, however they baptized. I guess that's another story for another day. But yeah, just deceived. I was I think that's why I'm so mad, is that I fell for it. So, Candace, it's not too late for you. Cantifa, I was one of you. Join the support group. There's help.
There's help. There's help for you. No, I'm right there with you. I think it definitely is something to consider and to think about, and shout out for sure. So we'll be doing that. All right, I'm going to pull in a video. We're going to look at it together. You're going to give me a second to find it very quickly, and then we'll pull it in and we'll just discuss it. Now, I don't know what this one is about. Ami has a video right here. The audience told me they didn't like his singing the other day. So
they didn't? I liked it. I think he's so talented.
Oh, he's talented. I just don't think they weren't feeling his singing, though. That's for sure. But it's okay. It's okay. Now, you are familiar with Blexit, of course.
Yes.
And okay. So, young lady on the YouTube, lots of people have been asking me about her, Nemo, Nimo. And she did a really good video looking at who founded Blexit, which a lot of people said, well, Candace founded it. Well, not really. That's not actually what happened. So I'm going to pull this in and we'll just check it out. Let me know if you want to stop anywhere in particular. I'm going to ask the audience, of course, for the wonderful green hearts in the chat when they can hear. Let's pull this in and let's talk about it. So this is Nemo. And if the mods could go ahead and drop Nemo's chat link in the chat, we'd appreciate it as well. All right, let's get this dance going. And my guest, by the way, is Edie Lowe. Make sure you go check out her channel also. Let's go.
And for you, but not for her. When I first, so I hired Candace Owens 4.5 minutes after I met her. I saw passion and vision unlike anything that I've encountered.
Is Dave Rubin the reason why we have been going through the disaster we have been going through for a long time?
It's not just that I put Candace on her first big show. I think maybe, I don't even know if I've said this publicly, I introduced Candace and Charlie.
Did Candace Owens actually steal Blexit from another black woman and has been parading as the original owner of it?
Hi everybody, I'm Malia Connolly, founder of Blexit.
And was she using the funds of Blexit to fund a lavish private life living style, which she now cannot account for, putting that organization in the hole every year until Turning Point took over it?
Here's 2022. They operated at a loss of $1.7 million. Well, first there was Candace Owens' salary, which was $250,000 that year. Also, it's interesting to note that Brandon Tatum, he would show up at events more than Candace, and he only put average hours of 5 hours per week and was only compensated $36,000. So something
that's a pay gap.
I'm not sure how it almost takes $1 million to do social media fundraising, but organization, that is not a real address for them.
These and many more will be addressed today, looking from when Candace Owens met Charlie Kirk right down to the time when Charlie Kirk's organization Turning Point USA emerged or partnered or submerged or bought over Blexit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wild ride today. Welcome back to the channel. Like the video, share, subscribe. Please, we have so many questions we need to ask Candace Owens, and I would like you to push this video to get to her audience so they can at least ask her. And thank you all to all the new subscribers to the channel. We are growing every day. Now, let's get into the debauchery. Candace.
Okay, so all right, that was a great opening.
It was.
All right. What are your thoughts right now?
Please, I believe it. I believe it. Is this was it Mark Zuckerberg that stole Facebook allegedly? I think I saw this. Okay, so this is that kind of situation. So she saw something, she stole it, she took it and ran with it. She's an excellent actress. She's Mr. Calling. With no remorse, she probably stole it, took all credit for it, ran it into the ground,
and then sold it off.
Yeah, that's how she
fire sale.
That's how she does it. Oh, Charlie, that hurts me to watch that with her and Charlie.
All right, let's roll and go.
Owens met Charlie Kirk in 2017 through a meeting we have now come to know was set up by Dave Rubin.
And the other part is that because I, basically, it's not just that I put Candace on her first big show. I think maybe, I don't even know if I've said this publicly, I introduced Candace and Charlie. I introduced them. We were at a David Horowitz event right shortly after that interview there with Candace. So this is around 2017, probably the spring of 2017, David Horowitz Freedom Center. Someone can find the date on it. And I was doing an event and Candace was there. And Charlie, we were at the Breakers in West Palm, and Charlie was about 20 feet away from us in the lobby area. I remember exactly where we were standing. And Charlie was there, and Candace said, I'd love to meet him. And we walked up to Charlie. I said, Charlie, this is Candace Owens. He immediately was like, oh, I know you. I've been watching your stuff. I saw you on Dave's show, blah, blah, blah. And I walked away. They talked for about 10 minutes. And I give you my word, she walked right back over to me and she said, Dave, I just got a job with Charlie in Turning Point USA. So I guess I had something to do with that.
And I will say this, it came out of left field for me and for you, but not for her. When I first, so I hired Candace Owens 4.5 minutes after I met her. I saw passion and vision unlike anything that I've encountered.
Dave Rubin in 2017 had a program where he would pick up small.
Did you have anything you want to add to that?
I think it's quite alarming, remarkable or alarming, whichever way you want to look at it, that she snagged a job within however long, 4 minutes. But that just testifies to it. Again, my opinion, she's a malignant narcissist, so that has layers of psychopathy. You have to look into it. It's actually quite fascinating, but superficial charm is one of the key elements of that, because she's very charming, and it reminds me of the serpent, how she's able to deceive and con with her charm. Just want to make that note, but yeah.
I'm right there with you. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go.
Smaller YouTubers and talk to them on his show. He spoke to Candace Owens, was charmed, and during an event introduced Candace Owens to Charlie Kirk. That is where everything took off. Charlie Kirk spoke with Candace Owens for just 4 or 5 minutes, like he has said before on an interview, and he hired Candace Owens on the spot. And Dave Rubin said they came back to him announcing their new partnership just after 10 minutes after they met each other. When she joined TPUSA in the late 2017s, TPUSA was still a small company. Owens became TPUSA's Director of Urban Engagement, later Communications Director. Right. She is generally listed as working at TPUSA from 2017 to 2019. Now,
I do notice that Candace has a really difficult, it's hard for her to stay at places longer than 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that would be a red flag in any corporate HR.
Right. She just can't seem to stay anywhere. And she doesn't just move like, well, I left to go, I left to get a promotion, or I left to get an upgrade or whatever. She gets let go from these places and then just land somewhere else. Daily Wire, PragerU, and whatnot. I just think that's very interesting. And I don't know if the Cantifa ever is going to ask her about that.
That's because it's easy. Well, not easy. It's she's not able to sustain the charm or the seduction of it all.
Right.
She gets found out. The mask gets pulled off, and then she has to go elsewhere. But always an excuse, right? Always an excuse. She's never to blame. But
well, hold on real quick. Tucker has confirmed that they've always been close. Why try to switch that narrative? Tucker's also the one that confirmed the French the French assassins with no evidence. So, hey.
I've been like Tucker since 2003 when he interviewed Britney Spears. Terrible guy in a stupid bow tie.
In 2018, about a few months after joining TPUSA, she launched a program, a movement called Blexit. She launched that movement, and the movement was a movement.
Okay, so we got Stephen Davis, John Amachuku, Pierre. All these people are still involved in it right now. Yvonne Park. I don't know that name. This young lady. I don't know her. And of course, we got Brandon Tatum, Candace, and Charlotte. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, and this is 2023. So she was still affiliated with it, even though she had left from TPUSA the organization. So, okay.
And that took on the name like Britain leaving Europe, Brexit. And what I have come to find out is this: Candace Owens did not make up that name. She actually stole Brexit, the full name, from a different movement, which was less known and was really the original movement of Brexit. Brexit is the Minneapolis-based grassroots non-profit movement founded in 2016 after the police killing of Philando Castile. It offers support to African Americans through economic activism, Black-owned institutions. The name Brexit is a portmanteau of Black and exit, fashioned after Brexit, and was coined by Leah Connolly in 2016. In 2018, Candace Owens co-opted the term for a social media campaign urging African Americans to leave the Democratic Party. She set up the Brexit Foundation, which then something happened to it later, and we will get to that. So you can see.
Okay. That's okay. I'm wondering, did the young lady, apparently she did not get the name copyrighted. She did not go through proper channels. So that's probably sadly how she was able to co-op it, because she didn't do that due diligence, and Candace knew that.
Now that there is already a lot going on with Candace Owens so far. She has joined Turning Point USA. She has created social media platform or her own movement, Brexit or Brexit Foundation, and she launched it at TPUSA's Young Black Leadership Summit in October 2018. In 2019, Candace Owens left TPUSA.
Okay, I don't think that's very interesting, because if you do a research on Brexit, there is like a overlap between the the Minnesota.
Bless you.
Thank you. The Minnesota organization and Candace's organization. So, because when I did the research, there is like an overlap and kind of a mixture of it. But I think it's funny. She was only at TPUSA for 2 years and gets herself in trouble. And so she goes from there, and then she's going to land at PragerU, then of course Daily Wire, and then she's the abomination that we know now.
She really is.
That's
and
crazy.
She had no regard to take from, the small nonprofit. She had no remorse or any type of, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. It might be, I don't know, bad or wrong. She couldn't care less because she can't. She's not capable of it. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, let's go. Great catch.
Owens stepped down from TPUSA in 2019. Press reporting cites spring 2019 and controversies of when she spoke about the Hitler incident. I had discussed that on the channel. She now moved to PragerU and hosted her show, The Candace Owens Show, from 2019 to 2021. After leaving TPUSA, Owens hosted that show at PragerU through 2019 to 2021. And then from 2021, she hosted another show because she departed from PragerU and joined Daily Wire. And she joined Daily Wire as a commentator and a host. So she joined Daily Wire in 2021. The next minute, by 2024, she is leaving Daily Wire again, just roughly another 2 years. So she spent about 2 years in Turning Point, about 2 years at PragerU, and now about roughly 2 years or so with Daily Wire. When I even say that's crazy. In 2023, something very important happened. Turning Point formally incorporated or took over Brexit. It was something like a merger partnership. That is in March 2023. Turning Point USA announced that the Brexit Foundation would be incorporated into Turning Point structure and branding in March 2023. And Owens and Brandon Tatum, who have been the original creators or the people who were the founders of the Brexit movement, the second one, because the original one, they had nothing to do with it, were described at the time are still maintaining their leadership positions. But then in 2024, before Charlie Kirk's demise, something interesting started happening.
Okay, so I'm gonna just give it a second just to make sure we can all catch up on that. So we see that 2 year, every 24 months, she's swapping jobs, or I'm sorry, leaving positions, getting fired. And that's a whole deep dive its own self. But this whole merger of Blexic, because it was operating on its own out there in the stratosphere. We listened to Callie Fontaine earlier discuss that. So it was out there by itself, and then it gets brought in to Turning Point. But at that point, it was not operating it was operating in the red every year, which is crazy work, to the tune of a million, if not million plus every year. That's crazy work. All right, so let's see where they go. Did you want to add anything, Fred?
I just think it's interesting. I think if Candy were looking at this and saw 2 years here, 2 years there, 2 years everywhere, that would be grounds for a nefarious conspiracy.
Right.
And 2, 4, 6. 6 is part of the mark of 2 more 6s, of course.
Oh, I see what you did
Candace
there.
would have something to. I mean, do you agree? This is strange. That's all.
We're just asking questions.
We're asking.
We're just asking questions. All right, let's keep this dance going.
Candace Owens started removing pictures and unfollowed Charlie Kirk. There were a few reports that reported about this, but it was something that was quiet.
Candace Owens unfollows Charlie Kirk, deletes all images of the pair together on social media.
Got burned.
Now, that was May 9th, 2024. So almost a year and a couple months before he passes away. Interesting. Okay.
That's pretty interesting. I don't know how that happened. What does that mean?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Done. For example, we have AF Poser said Candace Owens unfollows Charlie Kirk, deletes all pictures of their pair together on social media. That is interesting. Now, when you look online, it was something that was a little bit hush-hush, and you go to Candace Owens' Instagram, she posted the following in 2024 too. Deleted my entire Instagram because it's time to let new energy flow. 2025 is a new year and it feels different. It feels like for the first time, many of us on the left and right are beginning to see eye to eye on things. Some old relationships have fallen apart and some better ones are falling together. This is my sophomore book, Make Him a Sandwich. This book has been written for years and has gone through 2 publishing houses before it feels like God wrangled it back into my hands, completely owned by me. I never question his timing. I wonder now if I had published it years ago, with my followers, my new followers from the left have been open to discussing toxic feminism.
That is crazy work.
Probably not. And I can understand why, given how I was portrayed in the media. So, ladies and gentlemen,
wow.
I received a tip from somebody.
Here, let me let that breathe. Go ahead. Did you want to say something?
What, 2 publishing? There's 2 again. 2 publishing houses had her book. The 2 years, 2, 4, 6. Now we're at 8. I don't know. There's something with the 2.
Well,
and why is she talking about energy? She does that a lot. Like, she practices and implements a lot of new age philosophies and like pagan practices.
No,
she engages
I agree.
in.
No, I think that's she talks about it. Well, when this is again, and you talked about it, I believe, that one of the things that Charlie, one of the downsides of Charlie was that I think a downside of Charlie is that he definitely allowed too many people around him that did not hold to the same foundational biblical principles that he believed in. Again, he had a lot of Christless conservatives around him.
100.
And again, this is one of those examples. She probably said all the right things, but
Mm-hmm.
never did actually confess Christ, and
Mm-hmm.
never mentioned, because some people have argued that when they met her, she was praying to the universe. And
Yeah.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that little bit slips out a lot. She mentions it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The
She
universe
mentioned,
doing this
mm-hmm.
energy and flow and vibe and blah, 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 blah.
And Christ
I very,
consciousness. That's a new age, new thought philosophy.
yes,
That's not a Christian principle, but she talks about it a whole bunch. And well, we know now she practices necromancy and everything else. But
absolutely.
did you share the photo of her from a while ago? She had a pagan statue and she was doing yoga in front of it. I saw that somewhere. I'll find it and send it to you. Yeah,
Oh my
she was like
gosh.
doing yoga. She had an altar in her
Oh,
home. Yeah.
oh,
Girl is
okay. Okay.
she was a wolf in sheep's clothing for
That's
sure.
that's what we're doing with free will now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got you.
Yes.
I don't want to say their name given I don't know if they're comfortable. So please, I will just encourage us when you're sending me a tip, let me know if you're comfortable with me shouting you out. I would love to shout out this person, but I don't know if they're comfortable, so I'll just leave it for now. Thank you to all of you who are sending me tips. It is very, very much needed. Now, when she sent me this tip, on clicking the video, I noticed it's a lady. I had seen a video of hers when she was explaining some things on X.
Exit in 2020. Both my husband and I volunteered and worked for Candace Owens' nonprofit organization, Blexit, in 2020, 2021, and 2022. The last 3 years that she was president of that organization, they were $1 million in the hole every single year. In 2022, she paid herself $250,000 that year and claimed on the tax form.
Say again.
Of course she did.
Yeah, that's some wild work right there.
Yeah.
Who is the woman speaking but not shown? It's Nemo, and if I believe the mods have gone ahead and dropped that link in the chat. I've seen it already, so shout out to the mods. But the mods will drop it in the chat again. Thank y'all so much. Okay, let's keep it going. Shout out to Callie.
That she was working an average of 30 hours a week for Blexit. This is while she was doing her Daily Wire show every week. And I want you to go and look at her platform during 2022. Was she even ever mentioning Blexit during that time? Because she's basically abandoned that mission. Yet she claims she was working 30 hours a week for Blexit. And then you can look this up. All of this is public knowledge. Go to ProPublica. It's a place where you can look up Form 990s, where you can look up the tax returns on these nonprofits. That year, Blexit spent $800,000 on social media fundraising. And then she also spent another $380,000 on security. These are donor funds. And when I was volunteering for Blexit, we were doing events like delivering meals and lunches to police stations. She was never part of those things. What she was part of was the Blexit rallies, where she was flying in private jets to these rallies, using donor funds to fly in private jets. And you're gonna be like, oh, you're just a hater. You're just a hater for doing this. Wait a second. Didn't Candace go after Kimberly? Didn't Candace go after Kimberly Klasick for doing these same things? Isn't she demanding Turning Point to be very transparent about their funds and their fundraising? Yet she is allowed to operate Blexit in the hole by negative $1 million every single year for the last 3 years she has it, and then just pawn it off to Turning Point USA? Yeah, in 2023, Turning Point USA became they took over Blexit because Candace couldn't run it. She was running it into negative $1 million every year. In fact, that 2022 was negative 1.7 million. You can go and fact check every single thing I have just said to you. Go to ProPublica.org, look up Blexit organization. Candace, did you lie? Did you lie in 2022 about working 30 hours a week for Blexit? I'm just asking questions.
Remember that TPUSA took over this organization or merged with it allegedly in 2023. By 2024, Candace Owens unfollowed Charlie Kirk, removed all pictures, and started distancing herself from him. There was a time just after Charlie passed when the situation of the friendship was ongoing. When I went to Candace Owens' Instagram, then I noticed all the pictures there were gone. I went to her Facebook. The only pictures I saw of Charlie Kirk were before 2019 and to 2017, and also from 2025 after his death. But in between that, the only thing you could find is maybe a picture of an event, like this event coming up, nothing more.
That's interesting.
And I said to myself, what kind of friendship are these people purporting that they still had? And also, when people want to claim the friendship they still had, this is something they will say. They will show the video of Charlie Kirk when he said he has remained friends with Candace Owens, then this is what he says that make me know this is just PR friendship. He says, I was at her wedding. Let me ask each and every one of you out here, is your relationship with your friends tangent to you attending their weddings? Because if you ask me about my friendship with any of my friends, attending their wedding will be the last thing I'll be thinking is a thing to tell you that shows I am friends to them.
I think that's an interesting point. I don't think Candace went to his wedding, but that's beside the point. Somebody mentioned it, I don't know. Like, Candace, show us where you sent him a text message about his child being born, or anything in the last 24 months. Since we're doing the 2-year thing, show me the last 24 months. Show me those text messages.
Yeah, and who? Okay, a couple of things. I just wanted to make note before I forgot about it. I remember her specifically saying, and I will try to find it, when she was working at the Daily Wire, because she always talked about, women, we need to be, you don't need to be a boss babe, which I agree. We don't need to be a boss babe. You don't need to be run stuff. Once I'm the exception, yes, I have this show, but I only work maybe 2 hours, and then I'm at home and I'm baking and I'm cooking and I'm taking care of my kids, and that's what I do. So she gave herself away there. She wasn't working Blexit hours. She wasn't working 30 hours. She said herself, I do this for 2 hours a day, maybe, not counting glam, whatever. And then I go home. So she's a liar, confirmed liar. And why are you saving? I delete my messages I don't like my phone to be backed up, but what was the reason of saving these screenshots, if not the entire text thread from like almost 10 years ago with someone you're not even friends with? I feel like she has a file on people that she wants to
That is probably more true than false. Yes. Now, I don't delete messages, so I went through my phone one time and I'm like, I got messages from 8 years ago. Like, they're in there, but it's not like I'm keeping them intentionally. And if they got deleted, I wouldn't be surprised. But search back at my wife and my conversation. I got some pretty old messages in there, so I get that part. It is a matter of like, well, why are you showing these messages? And I can show you messages from anybody that I profess as a friend of mine within the last 2 years. I have at least 1 or 2 text messages that will show you that I've been in communication with them. Not going back 7 years. Like, a lot changes in 7 years. So that would be my biggest, like, what are you doing? If you ask me. Go ahead.
So many of the messages that she's shown, aside from the one that, and I would still love to know who leaked that, their WhatsApp message from the day before with Josh Hammer and everything. But the messages that she's published were they were flirty, in my opinion, flirty and romantic in a way. The one you don't even know your full power yet, or I'm a time traveler and I found you. Flirty, kind of romantic.
Yeah,
so did she save those because
weird,
she romanticized their relationship? Remember, my theory is that she's at boiled bunny status, and also could this be a situation where she was cutting out little pictures of him and they're pasting it into a bridal magazine and she's saving it? Like, that's what she was meditating on, those messages, like holding on to the what if, like he's, romanticizing it. And I don't know, that just came to me. I could be wrong, but what do you think about the messages she's published? They're kind of,
well, they're romantic. Out of context. They're romantic, but they're also, if you just gave it to me and I just read it without Candace interpreting them, I don't think I would come to these same conclusions. So a lot of time I think it's because she has interpolated it that we get these kind of things that, again, them being flirty or whatnot. They're out of context. Like, this is clearly in the middle of a sentence. This is clearly in the middle of a conversation. What were y'all talking about before? What was, what's going on? So I'm right there with you for sure. All right, let's see what we got. Let's finish up with this. Nemo.
People are friends too. People go to people's weddings they are not friends to. Yeah. And he also said, I saw her meet her husband. Those are things that happened in 2018, 2019, right?
Yeah.
In London, which means since they came back, and even Candace Owens, when she told the story of when she and Charlie went to London and came back, she said there's always been this particular effect to separate them. And she says that with one side of her mouth, then on the right side of her mouth, she tells us that she and Charlie have never faltered or softened their friendship. They've always been tight-knit. So you guys have been tight-knit. Charlie Kirk says you people are still friends, and he doesn't cut friendship with people because people tell him to. And he tells us that
real quick, when somebody unfriends, unfollows on X, like I don't know this. I'm really asking a legitimate question. If I were following you and you were following me, and you decide to not follow me anymore, and I decided, well, I'm not going to follow you anymore, are people able to see who unsubscribed or unfollowed first? Does that make sense?
Only if no, it wouldn't be like a timestamp or anything. Only if they were being nosy and they noticed who did it first, could they make that connection. But I'm not on X, I follow Helen Keller just for the fun of it on X, but I'm on Instagram, and you don't get alerts or anything when someone unfollows you or blocks you or anything.
I'm always wondering when people, announce like so-and-so has stopped following one another. Like, how do y'all know that?
Right.
Like,
they're deep in it.
Is there some kind of app that says, Jason is following Loyal Love, and then Loyal Love is following Jason, but then Loyal Love decides to stop following Jay Witt, and Jay Witt also stops following. Like, that just seems very interesting to me. It just seems like another very odd something or other that happens because of social media. Okay, let's keep it going. Almost done, y'all.
That he is friends with you because he went to your wedding, and that's what you have to prove. Because he saw you meet your husband. Those are things that happened in 2018, 2019. He attended your wedding with Erica Kirk. And that's another thing Dave Rubin said. Dave Rubin said the first time he met Erica Kirk was at Candace Owens' wedding. Then Erica Kirk was still a girlfriend or a fiancé. He was not very sure, and neither am I. And so I asked myself, it tells me that after that wedding, there has been a little distancing. Just mere professional relationship. I don't know. I don't know the in and out of this. This is me speculating just from the information they tell me. Because most times when someone wants to say, hey, we're friends with somebody, they say, come on, what do you mean? I am with this girl every day of my life, or every week we meet for dinner, lunch. We are always together. My kids play with her kids every day.
Okay, real quick. I want to read this real quick before. All right. You look at the subscriber list, following list will tell you a search of users that follow them or vice versa. Okay. Yeah, I do not have the time. I am not going to use this little bit of time I got left to do that. But okay. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you so much. Out of context. I appreciate you, friend. Okay.
Every week, my kids and this, her kids and mine, my kids, I'm their godmother. But someone wants to tell me about friendship and tells me I saw her meet her husband, something that happened more than 4 or 5 years ago. I was at her wedding. That is not someone telling you they had friendship. That's someone explaining to you that they are playing a political friendship with this person in the public eye, but the truth is they are not that close anymore. Same thing with Candace. All the text she has been posting out here. Show me which of them has been 20, 24, or 5.
Come on.
They are all 2017, 2018, right? That should tell you something. Something happened. Their relationship has been reducing after Candace met her husband. And after their wedding, something has been happening. But
I argue that after Charlie met Erica, that's when the wheel. Now we can't find some kind of follow tool like what straight out of context. I think the problem was Charlie met Erica, and that's where everything went south for this. But yeah, okay, let's keep it going. Let's go. We're almost finished. Shout out to the best live chat.
I think what broke it completely was in 2023 when Turning Point totally merged with Brexit. I think something happened. And as a result of that, they are now having this struggle. That is also a theory that many people hold about this, that maybe because of the merging of Turning Point and Black Seed, she is bitter and she wants to take down the entire company because if she cannot keep it, let her better just bring it all down. That's a huge possibility. It's a huge possibility, but we will not know what her intentions are. Like I've said, all of these people are playing a role, and you should manage your expectations, manage your heart attack while you're watching the drama. Don't let yourself get carried away with what you're seeing. Now, I was able to watch Ariel Kali Fontanilla. I'm sorry if I mispronounce or mispronounce her name. It's just, I'm sorry, I'm not very versed with her name. So this is a few things I will just mention in what she said. She says that she worked with Blexit when she and her husband worked with Blexit. She really went to a high ranking position in the organization. And also she was able to give us a site where you can look the finances of many non-profit organizations, including Blexit. And she looked at the finances of Candace Owens' organization and Brandon Tatum from the time she had it to between 2020 and 2023. The organization has been in a hole about $1 million or more always. Not to talk about Candace Owens flying private jets, amassing huge amounts of money for travels, and then using $1 million for promotions, which she purported doesn't make sense for the organization because she knew how their social media campaigns or every other campaign runs, and that amount is too much. So she had a couple of things that were very interesting about her Candace Owens organization. And I will just play a short clip of a video here, but I will link the full clip below in the description box. I would like you to go watch it completely, and I will do a deeper dive into this. Apparently, Candace Owens has never stopped graffiting or stealing, and it seems she will continue doing so. And she thinks that she is now the person with the moral clarity to look into Turning Point organization and tell us what is going on there. We need to look into her own backyard and see what were you doing with Blexit. And first of all, how did you kidnap the name of Blexit from Connolly, the lady who initially created the name, and without giving her any credits? You took it, brandished it online by saying that Kenya West helped you with creating the t-shirts and the logo, and it went viral. And then Kenya West came out and said, please keep me out of that mess. And then now she's claiming that Kenya West was forced to do that. These people, Lord. All right, I am going to keep updating you with everything that is going on. I'm working on a real good deep dive, including Candace Owens, the Andrew Tates, and the George Farmer of it all. That documentary is taking me more time than I need, and I am just one person, so please give me some time. I am working on it, and I'll deliver in no time soon, okay? Now, I just said, let me bring you this little update that is going around, is going viral. Like the video, share, and we would like to ask Candace Owens. Candace Owens, why did you run Blexit to the ground? And were you using $1 million for social promotion? Were you using this money, and what were you using the money from Blexit for? Why was the organization in the hole minus $1 million every year? Why? And why were you paying yourself $250,000 and saying you were putting in 30 hours a week? Meanwhile, you were working at Daily Wire every day during that time. So there are a couple of questions you also need to answer, because we have the list of questions. Given you are always just asking questions, we are also just asking questions. How come you were putting that organization in a hole constantly? And why did you steal that name without giving credit to the lady Connolly who originally made it? You just stole it and went forward with your life as if nothing happened. Candace, we are just asking questions too. All right, guys, let me know what are your thoughts on this below. Until next time.
Shout out to Nemo. Shout out. What you think about that? Edie, what you got? What you got?
I have it. I figured it out.
Go ahead, break it down.
Candace unfollowed Charlie in 2024 after Charlie.
Okay.
Now, by the way, we're in the middle, we meaning me and everyone watching my little videos on my teeny tiny channel. We're in the middle of writing our Fatal Attraction novel that will undoubtedly be a bestseller this time next year. So the chapter we're on now, this is what it is. I'll figure out the name later. Charlie took over Lexit. Their TPUSA took over Lexit.
Right, right.
They had their Doge look at the records, financial records.
Right. Okay, okay.
Charlie noticed
I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
that where are the funds going? Why are we operating this way? As Nemo said, why are we running it into the ground? Where is that money? How did you make $250,000 yet we're filing at a loss now? That seems like felony tax evasion and fraud. But what do I know? I'm really no one. Anyway, Charlie asked her, I'm going to need to see a copy of those financial records. Candy said, I don't have the financial records. Why are you questioning me about this? It's as though you don't trust me, the gaslighting of it all.
For sure.
So Charlie said, I will be forced to report this to whoever they report it to. I'm not going to act like I know the ins and outs of that organization. Candace knew something was going to happen. Remember,
she called the
her
French.
Her top secret. Actually, she asked the Macrons to help her forge documents, to help her forge citizenship documents so that she could, because I don't know what their policy is for giving us back criminal. I'm not sure. They refused, and then that led to that's a different chapter of the Fatal Attraction book that we're writing. Anyway. Once Charlie was taken from us, you know the interview she gave to CNN, and she said the top secret interview that she never gave, but she gave shortly after.
But she gave, right.
And she said, I think, financial records are going to come out shortly. Now, forgive me if I'm bouncing around. This is just, we're writing it as we go, and we're going to piece it all together. So she said, I think financial records are going to come out. She said that to give the illusion that she had information. Now, I gave a little side note about this previously. Criminals of many kinds, they will often insert themselves into an investigation. Some of the sadistic ones, they do that to relive the glory or the thrill of the crime, but some do it just to keep tabs on the investigation so that they can derail it or that they can get ahead of something that's coming, right? So my now think that we just came up with is that Candace has been demanding these financial records so that when they come out and they prove her to be an embezzling mess, she can say, and gaslight us again, why on earth would I be asking for these documents if I knew that I was the one who forged these documents? That just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? So that's the fracture that happened with Charlie 2024. Asked her for the records, refused to give them. Okay. This happened with you. Asked the Macrons. They said, no. That went awry. Now she's just trying to get ahead of it so that she doesn't basically just try to save her from federal prison when all of this hits the fan. What do you think?
Okay. So let me make sure I got it right.
Okay.
There's been some funny things going on with Blexit money.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow or another, she pawned it off onto TPUSA, and they took over Blexit. So now Blexit has the money now to run, but they also now have TPUSA now can see that Blexit was being run inappropriately, inefficiently. Some shady shenanigans were going on. Charlie picks up the phone, says, "Hey, Candace, can you give us this documents? We really need to know." And she said, "No. I don't have it," whatever like that. But we're not saying that she's involved in his deletion. Are we saying that?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, we're not saying that. Okay, gotcha.
No.
But by whatever twist of fate, Charlie is deleted. And now she's just like, oh, well, I've been asking for TPUSA's financials for a cover because she knows that people are going to see eventually how poorly Blexit was run.
Awesome. Okay, I have a new.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, I can kind of dig that.
Candace
All
was
right.
not involved in the deletion. Of course, she was not
No,
involved
I
in the
don't think so.
deletion because Charlie was loyal and protective of her. You know, for just you have love for someone you go through. You know, starting up the organization with, and he said, "I'm not going to name you when this is reported. I'm not going to name." So she felt safe, but then this happened, and so now she has to get ahead of it because she was safe while he was still here, and now he's not here, and she has to demand the records because she's going to look pretty bad when they
Oh,
come
she looking
out, and
smart.
she has to
Right.
show you. I didn't do anything wrong, otherwise I wouldn't be asking for these records. That's a dicey
Okay.
chapter, yeah.
I can kind of dig it. It's not the craziest thing I've heard. Clearly it's
No.
not the craziest thing I've heard. Okay, so now wait. Are you saying the Macron? What? Tell me about the Macrons and the citizen thing. What were you saying? Are you being hyperbole? What are you talking about?
Yes, she approached. Oh yeah, no, all of this is just
Fan
what I
fiction.
this is all just what I feel. I have no evidence of this. It's just I feel it in my
I got
spirit
you.
that this is what happened.
Gotcha.
Maybe
Okay.
I'll
No,
dream
no
about
problem.
it tonight. But she approached the Macrons and said, I need help with some documentation, whether that be I need citizenship for here. You could get that to me. They refused, and then she made them the topic because she's vindictive of that awful series.
Okay. So we're just doing fan fiction because
Oh yeah, no, all
somebody
of
was
it. No, this
confused.
is just a fatal
Okay.
attraction.
No, this is
Book
some
that I'm
fatal
reading.
attraction. There's no question there.
Mhm.
You can check. Somebody was asking, how do we check the proof? You can look at ProPublica. I just put it in the chat. Oh, where'd it go? ProPublica.org is where you can see the tax documents from nonprofits, and you just put in Blexit organization, and you can see their tax documents, and you make your own assessment from there. We're just theorizing over here. We're just
There-
theorizing. There we go.
In all
We
honesty,
don't.
it's a brazen thing, though. I mean, but it testifies to who she is and the narcissism of it all. To be able
Yeah.
to behave that way and misappropriate allegedly misappropriate funds that way
No, I got
without
you.
any regard for the organization. That's a brazen thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll give it to her.
Yeah, I got it.
Yes,
All right.
Gusto.
Okay. Well, friend, I appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with us tonight and coming in.
Thank you for having me.
That was
I
a
really
lot of
appreciate
fun.
it. This was fun. And God bless you again. Thank you so much for all that you're doing to help me. I hope you guys have a great evening. I'll continue watching.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for following through, Edie. Edie, love, if we could, by now, love, if mods could please make sure we drop her link in the chat, I'd greatly appreciate it. Make sure y'all go check out what she's doing over there. And Edie channel, thank you so much. Real quick, I'm gonna just hit these supers very quickly. And like I told you, President Firstborn is coming back from college today. I'm gonna make my way to the airport. Maybe I'll see Erica there. I don't know. Maybe Erica will be at the airport. Shout out to the best live chat. What do we have here? Amethyst says this. Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Donna glows with the 349 New Zealand. Says we are getting ready for summer holiday. That's very interesting. You all are, yeah, I guess you are on that side of the world. Shout out to the summer holidays. Enjoy yourselves. Shout out to Amethyst right here with the $10. Says this. I think Brandon felt a bit intimidated. He's quiet and stays in his lane. Plus, he's a warrior. Say less, do more, or I can show you better than I could tell you. If you know, you know. What are we talking about? Did I miss something? Who's Branson? All right. Shout out to our Lila Rose. Thank you for the $13.99 Canadian. People looking for Blexit in 2022 income taxes. People looking into Blexit 2022 income taxes this weekend push Candace Owens to go to Erica Kirk with her hat in her hand. TPUSA didn't take over Blexit until 2023. Timing is very interesting. 22. Okay. Nice. Okay. Aha. So you're feeling like that's what pushed this meeting of the minds. And as far as I can tell, Candace has not issued saying that she's going live. I don't see any other evidence anybody's going live. I don't think anything's going to happen today, as far as I can tell. So Lila Rose says that this whole everybody looking into, like I said, this weekend was weird. People looking into the tax documents is what facilitated it. Okay, I can dig that. What do we have here? Craftsman says this with the 5. She is going to capitalize on today and do some kind of show. She doesn't usually do a show after 6 o'clock. That's the latest I've ever seen her do a live stream. A show. Because the show is already recorded, it's going to be I don't see her doing it. I don't, but I could be wrong. And if she does, trust me, we'll have to figure it out. If I'm at the airport, then we'll just have to do it from the airport. Shout out to MT with the $2. Edie, your husband is straight. Big difference. Why y'all talking about her husband? Why y'all talking about this woman husband? Y'all are the best. Shout out. And Avengers Assembles. Okay, what if she films when the kids are asleep? I think she probably does, but it's not a live stream. It is a pre-recorded show. That's what I feel very comfortable, very solid in. Thank you for the 3 there, Avengers Assemble. And thank you so much, 5687 with the $2. Narcs don't love their kids. Narcissist. She scares George. That's probably more true than false. I can probably see that. And then again, MT with the 5 says this. George has connections to the Romanian mafia, doesn't he? There's a picture of him in Candy's wall with Tate in the Romanian home, just asking questions. I'm very interested. How do you have a British lord in air, lord apparent, whose good friend, he says like his best friend, is a gigolo? Like, what is going on in the world that's your friend? Like, I'm not saying you can't, but to say you're your best friend, that's a lap. I don't know how that happened. I want to know that. But I don't know what else y'all think. Everybody, thank you all, each and every one of y'all, for tapping it. I missed one. Thank you so much, Brooke, right here with the 10. Maybe they covered for Candace, and now she is turning on them to make them look guilty for covering it up now that Charlie's gone. That's interesting. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of different angles. There's levels to this thing. Okay, I can kind of dig that one. So Charlie covered for Candace and the Blexic kerfuffle. Charlie's no longer here, and now she's trying to get ahead of it because people are going to find out. Okay, I can dig that. Now, that's not bad. Shout out for sure. But y'all, thank you so much for tapping in today. I really appreciate you all. We'll be back tomorrow, Lord willing. We will be back. If she goes live, we'll be ready. If not, then we'll have some guests planned as well. So that'll be fun no matter what. Thank you so much to everybody who supported. Thank you for the wonderful, very kind supers. Thank you to everybody who hit the like button. Every last one of y'all who tapped in and chimed in the comment section. Don't do me a favor. Jump on over to the comments and let me know what other kind of theories and weird ideas you come up with. Put them in the comments for sure. The most electrifying comment section on the planet. Please do me a favor. Make sure you tip your waiter on the way out the door. Drop those green hearts, all that kind of good stuff on your way out. Flood the chat with some green hearts as we get ready to get out of here. Everybody, thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much to Edie Lowe for stopping by as well. Make sure y'all go by and check out what she's doing. She's doing a great job, and she definitely would appreciate your support. So everybody, have a fantastic rest of the night. I'll see you real soon. I'm on my way to the airport to pick up my baby. Grace and peace. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Whitt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.